What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Past the Barb. I'm your host, Ryan Pinkalla, coming to you here. We are in the middle of the dog days of summer here, and it should come as no surprise that we are playing with a short bench again tonight. Joining me tonight, we got Mr. Adam Bartusek.
I am here. Yeah, a little bit of a short bench. For anybody who knows the bass fishing calendar in the upper Midwest, the end of July and the end of August is just a gigantic shit show. And that's kind of where we find ourselves right now. Would reschedule it to a different part of this week, but then I can't make it and Ryan can't make it. So we're batting with the bench we got, but this is going to be a good episode. We're only doing every other week during the summer because we still have a shitload of stuff to talk about. Plenty of stuff's been going down since we last chatted. And to everybody who's brand new from the Gussie episode, welcome to our Canadian friends. Our two highest listened to episodes, Pink. Canadian guests.
It's what it is, man. We're flying the flag. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to start drinking maple syrup during this thing.
Yeah. We might need to get another Canadian guest or two on here and just be like, I guess just lean right into it. We're Canadian now.
Yes, man. I'm about it. It's all good. But yeah, it's wild the everyone's schedule right now. So we're trying to just make things happen. I mean, just getting things going tonight's just crazy. I mean, I can't believe that we even found a couple hours to ourselves here to figure this thing out. But here we go.
Yeah, we got her. We'll be good. And yeah, we got some really cool interviews and new episodes coming out in the coming months as well. So there's a plan. Yes. It'll all be good. We just knew this summer was going to be tough. And yeah, we're getting through it, but it's fun. So
yeah,
what have you been up to lately, Pink?
Dude, I kind of been just letting it rip. I've been doing a decent amount of fishing now. Boat's running good, which I'm super stoked about that.
Have you changed your batteries or anything yet? I know I got you that new Minn Kota charger.
So I haven't. I have a bunch of new equipment that's going to go in there. I'm super psyched actually to be putting some new electronics on there. I'm going to be putting a whole bunch of Humminbird stuff on there, new Minn Kota trolling motor, and then a bunch of other accessories. I got all lithiums for this thing. So it's going to be pretty decked out, I think, once we get it all in there. But it's a process, as you know, getting a boat all rigged out, especially one that was already rigged with a whole bunch of other stuff. So that process is kind of like, whatever. I'm going through that and dealing with, somebody's old wiring setup, trying to figure all that out. I got some other little things. I just picked up some like rod tie downs, that kind of stuff. I got to get drilled into the boat and all set up in there. So yeah, it's a whole thing. I think I might try to document a little bit of that process though, because for whatever reason, people seem to really like that stuff. So I'm just going to maybe hit that a little bit, see if I get anything going there. But yeah, super stoked. Had the thing out, been ripping around, doing a bunch of just local fishing. And mainly bass and stuff. The pike fishing's been getting actually pretty good. Normally this like mid to late summer, it really cranks up. I think it's like not that popular of a time because it's kind of shitty out and people just don't like roasting out there. But there's a kind of a shallow pike thing, at least around here, that really goes pretty nuts, like late July into early August. Gives you a shot at some big ones. They're not like those giant pre-spawners, but it's pretty fun to be able to capitalize on that deal. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. I got into them on 2 different lakes doing that, which has been pretty cool. So hopefully dial that in. But the bass fishing's actually been pretty good. And I kind of was out of the game for a while there and just kind of doing one-off tournaments and stuff now. But now that I got the boat, I've been giving her a little bit more and turning up some new stuff, trying to get my legs back under me in that department, but it's going pretty good. But
doing a little bit of largie fishing around here, basically.
Yep, doing some largie fishing, and I mean, I've always kind of done the shallow water game, and that's kind of like my bread and butter. But I've been dabbling with some deeper stuff. It's a little more difficult without the right tools on the boat, but still figuring some things out that way, and just getting some different rods in my hand that I haven't been there in a while. So that's been fun. But no, dude, I'm all about it. I get out there, I'm ripping around, burning some gas and, letting her eat. So
yeah, good. For sure. I have been, when was the last time we recorded? It was right before I went to Leech, I believe.
Yeah. That was how would that go?
Yeah. So, dude, Leech is. So you know how people find lakes that like they just want to buy a place by and spend a ton of time out there?
Just because you like it, or you'd like to figure it out more?
Both.
Okay.
Like
Well, you
I've
like that lake though.
I love it. And I
Okay.
don't know why.
Is it like a top 5
Yeah,
for you?
top 3.
It is.
Top 3.
Top
Yeah,
3.
it's
Okay.
what I like about it is I don't think anybody fully gets it yet.
Well,
Like, it hasn't been untapped. Like, the new smallmouth thing
sure.
out there, like, I was just recording, actually, the Team Trail recap show, and,
Yeah.
was chatting with the winners, Easton and Gordon Fothergill, a bit, and, they're probably the most dialed in out there by far right
Are
now.
they like
Easton.
locals in that area?
Yeah, or he
Okay.
might have a cabin in Grand Rapids. I don't know where they technically live right now, but he spends quite a bit of time out there. I was out there again this weekend, actually, and Easton was there. And he has no tournament or anything coming up. He was just out there.
And this is the dude that won that tournament.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
I've kind of chatting with him, and like it's just cool because you talk to people about the lake, and there's people catching them doing different things, but like you swear that what you're doing is the deal.
Yeah.
And there's just so many more smallmouth in there than I think people think there are. And that's what
Yeah.
Gordon and Easton said tonight. Because I was like, is
Isn't
there a lot of them? Is there not? And they're like, there are so many more than people think they are.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't that
so
wild
many.
though? Because Leech is a big. I mean, that's a big lake.
Dude,
Like it's not just
it's over 100,000 acres. It's fucking
right, and
enormous.
it's got a lot of like I don't know what they
Arms
call
and
them, arms or
bends.
bays
Yeah.
or whatever, but it has a lot of shoreline, and it has like probably a lot of nuances offshore too. But I think this like compared to obviously like fishing down in the South Metro, right? Like obviously the lakes are tiny in comparison, but it's like I feel like the like lakes in this area or even other parts of like the Midwest, you can pretty much figure them out. You can be like, this is how you catch bass in this place. But big fisheries like there, or like Mille Lacs, or whatever, even big chains of lakes like in Wisconsin and stuff. Like you're saying, like you can totally be like, I know the deal, and it's totally like something completely different than the other guy that's like, I know the deal.
Yeah, like it's big enough that like dude, I have been out there now just exploring, and like I've figured out a deal out there, and it's definitely a
Yeah.
deal. Like, and it's very much very good,
Mm-hmm.
but it is extremely time consuming in the sense of like, dude, there are so many more rocks on Leech than any lake I have been to in my life.
You're
Like
talking like big, like not just
big
like
rock,
chunk
little rock,
like
basketball
boulder
size
type,
rock, gold,
just
gravel,
all rock,
sand,
all
like,
sizes. Just
dude,
everything's rock.
more transitions, everything. There, like
Yeah.
everyone talks about like how many boulders there are on Mille Lacs. Leech fucking shits on Mille Lacs. It is
Yeah.
not even close. Because imagine like Leech is about the same size around as Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs is a little bit bigger, but
Oh, you're talking just like general area.
if you stacked, yes, if you stacked
Yes.
them on top of each other,
Yes. Yeah.
general area. However, Mille Lacs is a giant mud flat in the middle of it. It's a bowl. That's all it is. You got 3 Mile
Like
Reef
the
and a
center of
couple
the
other
lake
reefs.
doesn't play. Yeah.
No, there's literally nothing. The center of Leech is 10 feet. The whole thing.
Right. And there's
10 to
structure,
18
right?
feet. There's rocks everywhere.
Yeah,
There's unmarked reefs. There's boulders. There's you name it, dude. There is like I went out there on Saturday before Rello's wedding. And I was like, I'm gonna scan this reef. Like I looked at it and it's a mile by a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Good joke. Like I scanned it for 3.5 hours. I had like 40% of it done, and I didn't find one thing that I was like, this is I think really good until the end. And I was like, that looks right. Went and chucked at it, broke off a 5-pounder, and I was like, okay, like that's right. But
yeah,
it's cool because like it feels like a place that is very untapped, and it feels like a place where there's going to be some very big tournaments coming
when
up.
Fish is big, right? I mean, you could have a pretty big
huge
tournament out there and not feel like, oh, like everyone's on my same shit here.
Yeah, well, because like, dude, you could drive across and be like, I'm gonna go pull up to this, and as long as it's not windy. If it's windy, there's certain wind directions out there where like it will fish very small.
Sure. Just
Especially
because you can't access a lot of it.
Yes, there's nothing to fish.
Right.
But like you can run and be like, man, they might be on it and get there, and you're still a half mile from them, and you're like, oh, I wonder what they're fishing. Like,
right.
And guess what? Between you, there's just a minefield of rocks. That's all it is. It's all rocks. And you're like, where are these smallmouth? And
so
I don't know. It's cool.
Do you get a temperature for like, I mean, I know that like the largemouth fishing is also very good at Leech. Does that play only at certain times of the year, or how does that set, or well, from what you know? Because I mean, I've heard of some pretty big largemouth bags being weighed there as well.
Well, with smallmouth now being there, I don't think you're going to see a tournament unless it's a multi-day with a windy day or two. I don't think you're going to see a tournament one on largemouth there for a long time.
Really?
Like, I think it's when you saw the Mille Lacs thing happen, kind of the same thing.
Sure.
But the thing is, with Leech, they're going to stay so protected, dude. Like, because like, imagine going to a place like Mille Lacs, right? Like, it has the bags Mille Lacs has. It might be like the average might be a hair smaller right now. There's not quite as many of them, but there's a lot of them. And it's just imagine that, and guys are going out there like really good bass fishermen, and they're not catching one smallmouth in a day of practice.
Sure.
But then you got a guy like Easton and Gordon, who Easton's catching 10 to 20 of them a day, and they're all over 4 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like
crazy.
It's very weird because it's so untapped. And I just, dude, I can see myself going down the rabbit hole there. I hope there's big tournaments there for a long time. Because if there's a big one there, I'm gonna go. Like,
and apart from the bass fishing, it's like a hella fishery in general. I mean, it's like one of the better muskie lakes in the whole state.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it
dude,
has
there are muskies everywhere. Like, you're looking around on live, and you're like, oh my god. And there's walleyes everywhere. That's what's crazy. Like, you look at it, and I'm just like you see the walleye groups out deep or whatever, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, there's a pot of 80 of them right here. Like,
but they're probably on them too. It's, you know, it's like there's probably
crazy.
so much out there.
But anyways, that was a side tangent to what Leech is like now. I just love it. But
that's sick. But so recap this tournament, because I mean, spoiler alert, it didn't go that well.
Yeah, but like it could have went really well. Like, I'm really excited to get up there next week for steak, because I think it could get gross. But it could weigh in 3 fish again. But
so you had, did you practice for this other one, or you just went?
Yeah, no. So I had 3 days of practice. And all the other teams had 2 guys. Voigt was at the Angler's Choice that was in La Crosse for the first 2 days of our practice. So my day 1, I caught like 5 2-pounders, and I was like, what the hell? And like, I thought I had kind of figured out what it was, but I hadn't.
Like the pattern that you had, or
like I still right now am like, I know what it is, but like, I don't. It's weird because it's hard to explain, because like I can't.
That's the confidence we're looking for.
It's hard to explain because like it's very specific. Shit, and like, you think, dude, there's just no variation in it, because you're like, oh, that looks close, and there's nothing on it, and you'll like do that 80 times during the day.
Okay, so you're hunting like a very specific type of rock,
and then all of a sudden you go by it, and you're like, that's it, 5-pounder.
Got it. Okay.
And it's like, but then after 4 hours later, you forget what that looks like. So you like run back over there, look at it, and you're like, okay, I got it.
You didn't save it as your screensaver on your phone yet?
Dude, I need to. Like, it is so hard. But no, so practice, first day didn't go that great. Second day, I went to an area of the lake that I had a lot of confidence. Day 1, I just looked at all new water, and in areas of the lake where guys say they catch a lot of them, and I didn't. And so I went to the area where I've caught them. I mean, in the first hour, I had like 21 pounds. And I was like, okay, like I'm doing the right thing. Like I know what it is. And then
Is that about what you thought it would take to win?
no, I thought it'd take 23 plus. I was like, I got to
23?
find 23
Okay.
plus. But like, as long as I'm catching, I knew there with the wind forecast, I knew there probably wouldn't be a lot of bags over 20.
So you're like, if I'm getting 20 or better, I just need to get lucky and get a big bite.
Yeah, I just need more shit, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of guys starting to show up and play the wind game. Because it was supposed to blow on tournament day, and I called Voight. And I told him, I was like, dude, here's the deal. Because it was like he had just finished his tournament. It was like 3. I called him and I'm like, hey, man, I'm like, we had 2 good finishes and we get a drop in this circuit. So I was like, we're going to big dick swing here. This might be our drop, but like, we got to go to the windy. We got to go to where it's going to be windy because we're going to have it to ourselves. And we might be able to drop a mega bag in the first hour or 2. And that's kind of what the consensus was in that recap show I just filmed. Everybody was like, well, I'm going to try to get to fish it. Nobody else is going to fish. So then Voight got, that day went well for me. And then Voight got up there. That last day went really well. Once we had 2 boats, like we were humming, we were finding fish. Like it's very obvious what they were on then. And then tournament day came. And it was blowing a lot harder than they predicted.
So now is he fishing? Is he fishing the same pattern, or is he doing?
Yeah, like
totally
I called him. I went by a spot where I caught some. I took a picture of it on my side imaging, and I said, "Don't stop until you see this."
Okay, so like you guys
you're
were on
gonna
the same
see
wavelength. It wasn't like
Yeah.
you were like, you find your fish, I'll find mine.
No,
we'll
I was
compete.
like, dude, here's the deal. Like, there's way too much stuff because once you start side imaging out there, man, it is 24/7. Like, that looks good. That looks good.
Sure.
That looks good. That looks good. So it's easier to just take a picture and be like, don't stop till you see this. And just ignore everything else unless it is like, it could be it.
Right.
Like you see a giant cluster or a random rock pile or something
because
different.
it's highly specific and they don't just wander. Like
no,
they're
they live
parked
there.
on it.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we ended up finding a bunch. But tournament morning, they were forecasting 10 at takeoff, which it probably was about that. It was honestly maybe even a little bit less. I was pretty happy in the morning because I was able to go 63 all the way to where I wanted to start, which was on the windy side. Pulled up to our first spot. I told him we were going to make 5 casts because it was kind of in a community area and I thought we'd still be able to fish it around 10 a.m. for a little bit, but I wanted to get to where it was going to get dangerous, like as soon as possible. I just knew this one spot I had found, like if as many were there that day as when I found it, we were going to have 20 to 25 pretty quickly.
Yeah, but you felt it was going to get too rowdy like there for you.
Well, I thought I'd be able to fish it till 10, but that's where we get now. We pulled up, made like 5 casts, and I was like, doesn't feel right. Let's get out of here. So we left, and I ran over to the windy side, and dude, it's like 8 in the morning, and I'm already surfing waves. Like I'm going with them, and I'm surfing them with my nose up, and I get over to this one spot. It's just one big boulder. And they seem to like this boulder. They've been there every time I've been there. Actually, except for this weekend, but I think it was they weren't there this weekend, but I think it's because it was dead calm for like the only time ever on Leech. So I get over there, finally get positioned because it takes like 10 minutes to get positioned in those type of waves. Put spot lock down, catch like a 3.5, almost 4 right away. But then didn't get another bite there for a couple casts, and I kind of thought that could be the case there. I just wanted to make sure I hit it. So then we ran over to a spot Voight found, and we pull up to it, and like I'm looking at Mega Live, and there is at least 10 to 20 of them suspended 3 feet off the bottom.
So at least you had the
ready to go.
They're
they're ready to go.
Fire them up, you know. And I mean, I are the ones on leech, like if you catch it one or two, like the rest of them get real angry and you can start whacking them?
I haven't figured that part out yet. I honestly think that they're so dumb right now. Not even dumb, but like they're so not used to pressure that when you catch one, a lot of them follow each other.
Oh, so you're pulling them off of what they're sitting on?
Off. Yeah, so then like you want to go back because like they'll reset up, but you got to give them an hour or two, and that's not really that's what we ended up.
Fish is a little different
out.
than
yeah. You can't really do that in 5-footers. So we went there, caught like a line burner first cast actually, and then we each broke one off on our next casts.
Beauty.
So then they all left and watched them leave on live. I was like, that's sick.
That's and then they're freaking gone. Like that's the thing with live. That's like, it kind of sucks because I mean, when they dip, they dipped. It's not like, oh, maybe, but
no, they're gone. They're definitely gone. And went out to another spot. This one was out in the shit, and it's like 9 a.m. now. I get out there, and this was, I will honestly say, for a 20-second period there, it's the only time I've been scared in a boat. Like I got out there and boating, like got out there.
Not like you were on the front deck, like you were driving.
Yes, I was once I got on the front deck, I was good. It was the getting there.
Right. Yep.
Got there and I was like, okay, I got the trolling motor down and I'm like, oh my God, like this is huge right now. And pull up to it. They're sitting there, chuck in, break another one off first cast. And I had caught a 4.5 there the day before, and there were a bunch of them with it. And broke it off and couldn't get them to go again. And I was like, then you're basically tail between the legs, like, okay, do we go rerun spots and the wind's just going to get even bigger? Or do we get out of here now and just maximize our time? Yeah. So we made the decision to get out of there at about 10:30. It took about 45 minutes to get back across the lake. And then we had to spend 15-20 minutes like re-screwing in my graphs and my mounts and like, dude, that lake
good old-fashioned pummeling.
It's so mean.
You gotta love it.
It's so mean. There's no good way to ride the waves. It sucks. But then we ran around and just never really ran into them, to be honest. That's kind of what happened. Yeah.
That's tough though. And like this breaking fish off sucks. Do you know why you were losing them or what was the deal?
I honestly don't know. One of them
just main.
One of them, my FG knot broke for the first time in maybe ever.
Yeah,
I had an FG knot
like
break.
Not failure,
like not failed, and I was like, "What?" Like I pulled on them really hard the night before, and it was like my first hook set.
Gave her a tug, hey,
Yeah, I was like, "What?" Yeah, what? And then the other one, I think there's a ton of zebra mussels out there, and I just think like I threw it on the other side of the rocks, and he ate it, and then went back down. And with
a nick in your line or something.
Well, with all the waves and everything, dude, like there could have been a bow in my line that went by the rocks, and when I set the hook on him, it just nicked a zeb the wrong way, and it was gone. But yeah, I mean, then we just scrambled around, caught another that was a little over 4, and I mean, we were realistically with whatever we broke off still could have had in that 18 to 21 caliber. It's just execution could not have been more dog shit.
Yeah, and then your wheels are spinning and you kind of game plan goes to hell. Yeah. But it still took a pretty big bag, right? Even though the weather was kind of shitty.
Yeah, so Easton and Gordon weighed in. It was like 22.98. They had about that 23 mark, which is
this
about
was just
what
a one-dayer, right?
Just a one-dayer, yeah. So now State will be up there next week, and that's 3 days.
I've always preferred that. I like multi-day tournaments.
So do I.
So much better. Love them.
I love multi-days. So then anyways, to what went on with my life, that was a long rambling
Yeah.
about Leech Lake. But
Yeah.
then we went up to Rello, got married in Bemidji. So congrats to the Lopez's. Got to see a ton of people that I normally only see at the St. Paul Ice Show, and like for, I mean, a very brief amount of time. So it was super fun catching up with everyone. Alyssa she finally got to meet everyone I've talked about for
Oh,
like
right. Yeah.
9 to 11 months. So she
Yeah.
met Sobi for the first time.
Yeah.
Met Steph and like everybody. So
How was like the after party? Is it cool venue and everything, or what?
yeah, they had it at the fairgrounds, which was
Sick.
cool because it was just basically in a giant tin shed. So
Badass. Okay.
yeah, it was like dressed up nice, and it was very fun, very
Yeah.
Bemidji, and it was just cool seeing everybody. But yeah, so I dragged my boat up there then too because I knew
Yeah.
the Blackfish is this coming weekend on Minnetonka,
Mhm.
and the day after the Blackfish is when state starts. Basically, they have the meeting and everything, and then it starts Wednesday. But I knew I wasn't going to get practice for Leech, so I dumped my boat into Leech Lake the morning, and then all day well, not all day Sunday. I got out there at about 10:30 because I was hella hungover, but went out there till sunset, and I did a full lap around the lake and just marked as much shit as I possibly could. And
Yeah. That same type of pattern you were looking
same
at.
type of pattern.
Yeah.
I casted maybe 100 times. I caught a 5, a 4.5, and a couple 2s. I was like, okay, like I think like I have a couple spots that I'm like, these are good. Like I know these are good. I'm gonna hit those first, and then we're gonna go pre-fish mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But very excited for the next week or so. Like the next week and a half is just straight bassing. We get to go big largemouth fishing on Minnetonka, and then it'll be right back to Smalleyville, USA, back up to Leech. But that 3-dayer, I've had a lot of people ask me, like, man, it could get one with largemouth or a mixed bag. Like,
yeah,
you just don't know because
or
they
like
vanished.
one day something else could play, because it's 3 days. But
yeah, but my goal is to try to crack 20 a day of smallies. But I think I'll be able to make the divisional team. I should be able to make the divisional team if I can just have one of those really good days, like the 23-pound days.
Top 3 move on, or what is it?
No, so they changed Bass Nation now. They made the divisionals way bigger and the national championship way bigger. That's basically an open field now. So what it is now is if you finish top 6 in the state tournament, you go straight to nationals.
Okay.
So that's a goal. That's where I'm like, okay, if I catch 18 a day of smallmouth, I will make the national.
Should
no
make
doubt
that
in my
top
mind.
6.
I might even win, to be honest. But my goal is, so then the next 10 go to divisional. So if you finish in the top 17 or 16, you're moving on, something like that. So I'm figuring that'll end up being around 15 pounds a day.
Okay. So you still got to catch them.
You still got to catch them, but it gives you the playing around where, like, if you have a 20 to 23 pound day, like is very possible out there.
Yeah.
You can have then a 10-pound day like I had with 3 fish, and it doesn't matter.
But you can also leave them biting if you got a decent bag already. You don't have to burn it to the ground if you got something going.
Yeah, but I'm probably just going to try to get the absolute biggest bag I can if they're biting that day. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try to save fish out there. I'm just going to burn a place to the ground. And
if it sounds like you found a lot, so it's like,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think I have 800 waypoints out there now, and I have a lot of faith in 10 of them.
Spreading yourself thin already. That's good. No, that should be sick. And yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. What's the date of that tournament?
It's like August 2nd through 4th, but I'm intrigued by the Blackfish now. I'm see what
who are you fishing
got
that with?
going on. Voigt. I'll be with Matt Voigt again. Okay. Yep. But I've been chatting with Griff, and he said Tonka's fishing pretty good. So
nice. Well, that's a good change. Sounds because it has been tough. It sounded like.
yeah, it seems like and good. I don't think it's like 2019 by any means when every tournament was 20 plus pounds, but I think it's more of like it doesn't suck like it did for
earlier this
years.
year. It sounded like it was tough to even catch like 3.5 pounders.
Yeah, the largemouth were a problem.
Like,
I don't know where they
did
were.
Not sound fun at all.
It was really gross. It was actually very gross. So I don't know what happened, but it seems like they're biting a bit better. I cannot verify that.
Interesting to see. I like following that one too because it's definitely like an interesting field of guys on a very interesting lake. So
yeah, and it's $15K now for first place, biggest payout
so
for
badass.
a single event in Minnesota.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's super good.
That'll be sick. But yeah, we are in the prime of bass fishing season now. And I was like looking at the calendar, and it's that good old time of year too, where you're like, man, it's the end of July. Then you have August, and you're like, holy shit, September is like right there.
It's like it's gonna be fall in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. But hey, even with the bass fishing stuff, I mean, we've been giving her a little bit. This Tourney Tuesday thing, we've been filming a little bit with Sam for his
we gotta get on the train.
Well, here's the deal. We'll give everybody the update.
Middle of the pack.
We're not doing bad, but we're not doing good.
We're not doing up to my standards.
Yeah, like we both are like, yeah, we should be doing better than we are, and we've been struggling a little bit early. Like these are short tournaments; they're only like 4 hours, so you pretty much have to put it together right away, or like us, you put it together in the last hour.
Yeah, we're really bad at getting a limit before 8 p.m. I don't think we've done it once this year.
No,
even on prior where you can catch a billion
we had a couple,
12 inches.
Yeah, we had a couple where it was like it kind of went down right at the end, which was fun, but we kind of had to leave them biting to run back in, and then we just didn't end up getting that bag we needed. But we're sitting. So the way that this thing is formatted basically was the top 5 go to the championship. We are like 2 points out of the top 5 right now.
Yeah, and we're in 8th. There's a log jam for that 5th place.
It's very competitive. I think the top 3 are pretty much locked unless they absolutely
even top 4. I think Sobi's in 4th, and he's like Sam 10 points away from us.
True, but I mean, anything can happen, dude.
It can.
You can have one really bad tournament and totally change everything because it's kind of the, I guess, golf scoring, right? Where it's like you're basically where you place is how many points you get.
Yep.
So, you can move around on the leaderboard pretty quickly, especially if you're doing well or if you're doing really bad. If you keep finishing in the middle, you're pretty much going to remain there. But we need a couple top 3s quick. And there's only three tournaments to go.
I think tomorrow we got a shot. I poked around. I did the good old pulled the boat out of the driveway, dumped into a lake for 90 minutes, and just drove around in a circle being like, which one of these do I really care about the most? And found a little bit. So hopefully we can catch
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes those are the best practices, though. Just give yourself a clue and then go versus like burn everything down and then you're kind of where you just were at. So going,
honestly, it was just nice. It was nice rescanning things for the first time in probably like 7 years.
Just with new eyes and
new graphs too, like better graphs. So like I looked at a few spots and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it's set up like this.
You ever fish a spot like that well, right?
Yes.
And then so you fish it for a lot of years, like you feel like you're like intimately know this spot, and then you don't fish for a long time or you don't revisit that lake for a while, and then you go back and you rescan it and you're like, holy shit, this is not what I thought this looked like. You know what I mean? Like getting just a new perspective on it, or like you get better at reading your electronics or whatever, but you drive back over it and you're like, damn, this sets up a lot differently than I remember, and then you fish in a different way and it's actually good.
Yeah, no, dude, that was like that was today. Honestly, I went out to this one spot, scanned it, and I was like, this looks a little different than I thought it did. And I pulled into it a way I never do, and caught one first cast, and I was like, cool. And I like looked around kind of on live because, oh yeah, like I said, on the way in, my 360 and one of my Solixes, rip,
Oh, on
RIP.
Leech. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're currently getting mailed back to me from Humminbird. They won't be here till Wednesday. So I only
Had
had
some
my
hummingbird
live and my
surgery.
yeah, I only had my live and my side imaging. So I was like, okay, I want to make sure I mark this really good because I don't have 360. And I looked at it. I was like, man, this looks pretty legit. And yeah, I caught a couple. Then I was like, well, what about this part? I've caught them off this, and I went and throw out that part, and I don't catch any. I'm like, weird. But then yeah, found one actually really sneaky spot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what it is. This also doesn't come out.
We're
till
literally
Wednesday.
fishing together,
Yeah,
dude.
and we're fishing together, and I'm like worried about
Like,
someone's going to hear the
holding
podcast.
it back. It's coming. This is coming out after the tournament, dude.
Yeah, but no, I
good.
found someone. I don't know if it's always been there or not. I don't think it has because I totally would have marked it before. I think someone totally dumped their own rock pile in the winter.
Love it.
Like, because it's the perfect size of an ice house, and it's like right on the end of where another rock pile is. And I like looked at the
people putting in that work.
Yeah, I like looked at the rock pile I normally throw at, and I'm like, well, there's a few there. And I like look at this definite rock pile, and I like look at it with live, and I'm like, well, there's fish there. And I threw at it once and just dung. I was like, okay, well, leave that alone. And then me and Sobi were just spot hopping for, like I said, I was out there for 90 minutes. So he was out there longer than I was.
Yeah, that's sick. I'm excited. And like, it's kind of, I really like crunch time, like where you're kind of in this position where you're like, you have to get it done.
Yes.
I kind of dig that part of like competitive fishing where you're fishing for points versus just like we got to win, which like a win would help us substantially. But when you're kind of like,
I just want it for confidence.
Well, we can't just lay up. You know what I mean? That's what I like. It's like we're going out there and we gotta.
I'm trying to remember if Sobi and I have won out here before. I think we just always finish good. I don't think I've won out here before. I know him and Steph have.
Yeah.
Well, but we should do good. We're gonna dedicate to a program more than likely, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we definitely need a good finish. And I actually have a little surprise for you. I do have I called in some reinforcements.
Oh, here we go.
And it's not who you think it is. So that's kind of the fun part of this. I'm sending a link right now. They'll pop in a bit, but
all right. Well, so here I'll go with this. So, so the Tourney Tuesday thing's been going pretty good. It's fun. Just a little club deal. It's like 14 bow. It's pretty competitive. I mean, there's some really good guys in it. It's been fun, kind of just going every week. But yeah, that's winding down. We
got this tournament, then we got a week break, so you can do a little scouting while I'm gone.
So we have a week off, and then the final 2 of the season going into the championship, which fingers crossed we get it done enough to get in there. But one other thing that's going on, we haven't been really talking about any of this stuff lately. It's been pretty much the fishing grind, but we're getting into some hunting things that are happening already.
Oh, no way.
We're in the middle of like tag draws. Well, the tag draws, dude, which like I think for guys like if you don't hunt really a lot, or hunt out west, it's an interesting time of year because like none of the hunting seasons are like open other than there's some crazy stuff like, up like caribou things happening way up north and whatever. But like pretty much the western hunting scene, you apply for all these tags in the spring, like early spring, February, April. And then you have to wait to get drawn. So you don't actually know like what you're going to be doing because you have to actually
because you're still trying to make plans basically right now until you have your tags, right?
Right. So you're kind of like everything's in limbo. Like, I don't know what seasons I'm going, what states I'm going. Like I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. So some of the puzzle pieces have fallen into place, and I did have some serious tag drama that just went down in Colorado.
I hope this is good.
In Colorado. So I try to hunt Colorado pretty much every year for elk or deer, mule deer. So some had some big plans out there for elk season this year, which I've been saving up preference points in Colorado to try to get like a limited draw unit and everything, which is like basically the limited hunting pressure. There's just like, it's like a lottery for these tags, right? So I've been saving up preference points. Like every year I put in for these units, and then I hunt like on a tag where I don't need preference points, so I can like continue to build points, right? And finally decided going to try to cash my points in. Going to do a hunt with my dad in this one zone. Did a ton of research. Figured we're totally good. We should be able to draw these with the points we have. There's some cool like websites out there that you can kind of assess how many points you're going to need to draw. Been using like Go Hunt for that, which is kind of a cool one. We applied. We messed up though, dude.
No way.
Because we should have applied as a group. So you can apply like individually, or you can apply it as a group. And like the benefit to applying as a group is it's all or nothing. Like we're either both going to draw or neither of us are going to draw. Well, we didn't apply as a group, and then we split in the draw. So he drew like this awesome limited entry bull elk tag, and I got nothing in the draw, which is a problem for kind of our.
Can you even go?
Well, so here's the thing. So that's a problem for like our draw strategy, because like we hunt together a lot, right? And so the thing with like splitting is not only is it like I don't have a tag, but now we're also uneven in preference points. So like essentially he burned his points to get the tag, so he goes down to 0, and I still have all these points. So then it's like it kind of sets off the next couple of years as being weird too, where it's like, well, I'm not going to burn my points on a low draw hunt. To, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it presents like more than just like an immediate.
This is like, future pink problems now.
Yes. So it's like, oh my God. So then I'm like, okay, well here's what I can try. There's a secondary draw in Colorado, right? Which like there's any tags left over from that initial one or whatever, you can try to get those. So I did my research. Okay, yep. Secondary draw is coming out in June. Like June, you got to apply, and I applied for that. There were some buck tags left, and there were some cow elk tags left, and I'm like, okay, I'm applying for both. I just want a
give
tag
me
in my pocket.
something.
Get me a tag for this unit, right? Applied, got blanked in the secondary draw.
Oh my God!
You gotta be kidding me. So now I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, because and at this point, so you can't just like, so say you draw, like you have the opportunity to like turn your tag in, like so in a situation like this, you can be like, oh, I don't want to go, or whatever. Well, in Colorado, the way it works is basically you have to decide if you want your money back or if you want your points back. So like elk tags in Colorado are pretty expensive. They're like $750, right? So it's like you either got to decide if you want your $750 back or if you want your points restored.
And you took points, right?
Well, I didn't draw anything, so I didn't have to make that decision.
Oh, okay. But your dad does.
But I told him, I'm like, dude, don't turn it in. Like, just we'll figure something out. Like either like I'll come with like no tag. I don't know. I wasn't sure, because I was like, God, dude, I don't want to go with no tag. Like, not that I couldn't or whatever, but I'm like, it's a lot of days to like go out there just to go hiking and like pack some, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, well, we'll see I don't know. Maybe I'll figure something out or whatever. And I was just like I kind of was just like putting it out of my head. I was just like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or like, did I try to find like a bear tag or like just anything, like get me something. So whatever, secondary draw comes out, get nothing there. I'm kind of just sitting on it and stewing. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like basically the only other scenario that could possibly work in Colorado is in August, there's a leftover list that comes out, and then any remaining tags for any unit that are still available or somebody turned in or whatever are on this list. And it's like it's super weird deal, because it's very informal. It's just like a list gets posted online, and you can you can just sit there and keep clicking refresh. Something pops up and you're like, I want that. You can just buy it right now. And as soon as it's in your cart and it's bought, it's gone. Like no one else can have it. So it's like, I did not want to have to deal with that, because that is like super stressful, and it consumes your life. Like you would have to just sit on this literal website and just try to find something.
Yeah.
Then the other day I'm chilling at work, right? I got my email up, my like Gmail account, and I just happened to see this email it was just like from like somebody's name. You know how like if I was to email you, it would just say like Ryan Pinkalla or whatever, like on the from. So it was like that. It was just like some dude, and then like in the subject line, it said something about Colorado Game and Fish or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. I click on it, and it's literally a guy. It's a dude at like Colorado Fish and Game or whatever, just sending me this email, like super informal. That's just like, hey, like somebody turned in a tag for this unit, and you're like the next one on the list that was in the draw. Do you want it?
You're like, fuck
And
yeah.
I'm getting fucking punked right now, first of all.
You're like, would you like my car insurance info too?
Yeah, literally. I'm like,
my
Social
warranty
Security number
expired?
sent.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so so he had like a phone number and thing. So I tried calling him, left a voicemail, I emailed, like, I'm like all in. I'm like, figure this out right now. And whatever, long story short, I got this tag. So now I got a bull tag for the same unit.
There you
For the
go.
same hunt. But I was like, holy shit, because it was like a 2-month deal of just like, what am I gonna figure this out? But anyway, so got a sweet tag for Colorado. Super stoked about it. Like a limited draw bull tag for a unit I've been wanting to hunt for a while. And we got 2 of them. We got 2 bull tags for this unit. So we're in total like scouting mode. I think we might even do like a scouting trip out there this summer and just get eyes on some of this area because we haven't hunted any of this. This would be like totally new ground.
Yeah, just to get a lay of the land.
Well, and that's the deal because it's like these limited draw units. Unless you just go out there and spend time and learn the area, like you can't hunt them every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to save up to even just go there. So, it should be a different deal. But I'm pretty stoked about it, and should have a legit chance at maybe actually getting the drop on some really big bulls, which is really cool. But we'll see what plays out. But yeah, so that and secured a couple other mule deer tags. So right now I got 2 mule deer buck tags in my pocket for 2 different states, and I got a Colorado bull elk tag. So
well, there you go. That's awesome.
Things are happening.
So we have our guest here. We can bring him in right now. Or do you want to play Sobi's message for the fans quick?
Yeah,
let's we'll bring our guy in. So he's getting a little bit of a warning shot here.
All right, let's do that first. So Sam sent me a little update here.
And those of you who know, I always give Sam crap for practicing for Tuesday, but I was one of them this week, and he was sitting on a rock pile, and I totally flew by him and just blew him with a rooster tail. So
he did say he was busy tonight.
Yeah, he's out practicing for Tourney Tuesday. I dumped in for literally, I think it was 90 minutes, and then I loaded the boat and left. I saw a bolt of lightning, and I was like, yeah, I'm good, and I left. But yeah, Pinky got it.
I do, but actually, first thing, I got a little update from Will here.
Oh, we got Will too? Wow, here we go.
Well, it's a text. So Will made it up to Alaska in just the past couple of days. I think yesterday or the day before, he actually made it up there back to the Nushagak.
Yeah, and I should also say we are all aware that I totally forgot to ask Gussie the question he asked.
Yeah, major drop ball. Saving grace here is that Will won't listen to any of it.
So we're good.
He can't, so that's good. But I'm sure he'll be pissed about it later, which is fine. But anyway, he made it up to Alaska, so he's going to be guiding up there for I think 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest, but yeah.
But he texted me. He said he made it up there all good. He said they just went out and did a little fishing today. He got up there. He actually got to the camp yesterday. They fished today. He said it was pretty good. There's some fish around, but more are coming into the river every day. So they're fishing for silver salmon up there. He said there are some chum salmon around too, which are pretty cool, but sounds like the silver bite has been really good. And it's only going to get better every day. So he's stoked to get some people in camp and get them out there and start smashing on some fish.
Nice.
So super cool. I'm sure we'll get some updates here and there from that, but he'll be up there grinding it out and hopefully clubbing a bunch of salmon.
All right.
But here we go. So Sam sent me this update. We'll see what he's got going on. How do we do this here? Oh.
The good old audio.
Oh, here we go. For me, I was all right. Here we go.
Little past the Barb life update. For me, Sam Sobi. I'm not here tonight. I apologize, fellas. Thank you. The show must always go on, and for you fellas to be there, I appreciate the hell out of it. Here's a little life update on my end. I've been freaking running. I've been running like an Olympic sprinter with a dang bum leg, just hobbling around up north, back down south, up north, down to Florida, back to Minnesota, ripping. But it's all good things. Basically, after some time up north and 4th of July stuff, I freaking ripped home, fished a derby on a home lake to me. Steph and I, we got second place. It's freaking awesome. I don't know where Pink and Bart ended up, but things are getting tight in this, as far as the Tourney Tuesday realm. Immediately after that, caught a flight down to iCast, Florida, and iCast was incredible. The whole Crush City Plastic line by Rapala, it's a major hit, and I didn't get the full iCast experience where I really got to walk around and see potentially some really unique baits, but I did bebop around a little bit, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, big swim baits from different companies, and just a lot of different unique plastics and tackle in general. But overall, iCast was incredible. The nightlife of iCast is unbelievable. It's just so many folks from all across the industry are getting together and enjoying some cold beers, and they tear down the bars in the strip in Orlando, and it's a great time. But after very, very busy 3 days and no sleep, ripped back home, packed the boat up, went up to Whitefish Chain, did the Champions Tour, got my butt absolutely smoked, demolished. I learned a lot. But yeah, overall, really poor finish. But it was fun to see the Whitefish Chain. That was my first time ever going there. Immediately after that, freaking ripped home. I slept for about 4 or 5 hours, packed things up, headed up to Bemidji, and went to my best buddy's wedding, Beverly Lopez, and it was phenomenal. I was an usher, and I love the duty of being an usher in a wedding, because you get to be in the wedding party, but you don't have to stand up there in front of everybody, and then you can just kind of escort a variety of folks down to their seat. It was fun. I was having fun with it. It doesn't matter if they were young, old. I was giving them programs and telling them, we got a slight west wind today. There's going to be some cover underneath the pavilion, but the log cabin seating is great lumbar support, and it was fun to just have a good time with my good buddies down there. Bart was down there dancing his butt off with his beautiful girlfriend. Got to really meet and talk with her more, and she seems like she is incredibly out of Adam's league. She's an awesome whip. Oh, it might have cut me out.
Hold on.
Okay.
He called me right back.
I was rudely cut off there by Pinkalla's iPhone 4 voicemail inbox. But I'll wrap it up. Either way, been busy as heck, been fishing a lot, and I guess, yeah, but I'll end with the wedding was phenomenal. I don't know what happened towards the later half of the wedding, because I was escorted out of the wedding by my girlfriend because I could no longer dance. And the last thing I remember is talking some fishing with Bart and some of these guys at a picnic table, and I just kept saying, I just want to dance. I just want to dance. And Steph, she wouldn't let me go back and dance anymore, so she brought me home on the shuttle bus. But overall, things are good. Miss you fellas, and I'll let you continue the podcast here.
All right, but it sounded like a good time, and I did get some really good Snapchats from there.
He did want to dance. He was so we had a couple of whiskey sevens.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah,
sure
he wanted to dance real bad, but he had a few issues with motor functions.
He was an usher, man. He was busy ushering it out.
Yeah, but joining us now, I don't know if you guys have met before, but a good friend of mine as well, Mr. Bailey Eigbrett from the Serious Angler podcast and the kayak fishing world.
What's going on, man?
What's up, boys? What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good, man. It was a invite out of left field, but I'm pumped to be on.
You had a solid 3-4 minutes to get ready for this bad boy, huh?
Yeah, something like I got off our live stream tonight. We had our we had a live show tonight, and then I went upstairs, hopped in the shower quick because I was going to grind out some editing tonight. I'm literally getting out of the shower, ready to come back down, do some more work, and I see a text from Bart as I'm literally like getting a towel wrapped around myself, and it's like, "Hey, you want to come on the show?" I'm like, "When?"
SOS
now. I'm like, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can do that."
I knew I had one more. Like I had a good old Bailey hopping on the podcast last minute in my back pocket because I helped him back in the day once or twice with serious angler
Several
stuff.
Calling in
times.
those favors, huh?
Yeah, so I was like, I need
Yeah.
a favor. I know Bailey will be there for me. So yeah, for people who don't know Bailey, Bailey's a podcast host for Serious Angler, like I said, and a badass kayak fisherman. We give him a lot of shit for it, but he does really, really well in the kayak world.
Photoshop's a wonderful thing, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Got it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think what we're gonna dive into now, Bailey, were you at iCast?
I was actually with Sam. A little bit with Sam. I should say 5 minutes with Sam. He was too busy drinking, not much working. But he was working on the
I'm
beards.
shocked.
No, I was kidding. Yeah, I was at iCast, man. I was locked down in the Pure Fishing booth literally from the show start to the show end in media meetings every 30 minutes. So I didn't get to see much of the show, unfortunately, man. I literally had to go to the show at like an hour and a half before it started just to go say hi to like the Blackfish boys and all that. I snuck away during one happy hour, had a beer with Sam, and that was about it.
There you go. Well, I think what we're going to dive into now, so it's kind of a special edition of Geared Up segment where we will chat about anything we think is cool or really shitty. I think the only thing we've ever talked about that's really shitty is when I brought up Graph Glass.
Graph Glass, yeah. That was our major like stomping zone for what's the shitty thing on Geared Up. But yeah, essentially we're just gonna go in for this one. We just want to talk about basically like some of the either best or cool things that we saw from iCast, and at least one thing that you thought was pretty shitty that came out at iCast. So that's pretty much where we're going with it. But I'll lead it off because I got a couple here. But one thing that I thought was cool that came out, and I think there will be more of this like in the near future. I know it's kind of like a thing that's starting to go, is like a lot more of these like electric motors. They're coming out that are being more like, I mean, right now there are a lot of like smaller horsepower stuff that you might put on like a canoe or a kayak or use for just like a dinghy type boat, whatever. But when they first came out a couple of years ago, they sucked really bad, and they didn't have much range. They didn't have, I mean, they had the power obviously because they're electric motors, but they just didn't run long. But this Newport released a couple new motors this year. They released this 3 horsepower motor. They're touting it as like 60 hours of run time. I don't know where they spec it as far as like what size of boat that they put it on, but whatever they tested it on, they're getting like 6.5 miles an hour on it, which I think is pretty good for any type of like smaller, paddle craft that you're putting it on. But I think it's a company to kind of watch for potentially like doing something in that bigger horsepower range. I mean, I don't think they're going to go to like stuff that you're going to run a bass boat on, in the next 1 or 2 years, but maybe some stuff in that like 25 horsepower range could be really cool for some of these small boats or other applications like that. But yeah, this Newport NT300 came out at iCast, 3 horsepower electric motor. It literally just looks like a souped up, like old school Minn Kota, with the crank handle on it and everything. And it just clamps onto the, like a flat back scenario. And I think they dropped one other like kayak style motor too this year. I don't know a lot about that, but I did see that as well. But I thought that was pretty cool. And I think it's going to take off eventually, because I could see some bigger horsepower motors in the near future being like pretty badass on some bigger boats.
I've heard they're already made. It's just it's hard to manufacture that number. Like they've had them, but like they're like freaking 12 feet tall. Like they're gigantic. Yeah.
Well, and like I don't even know if the boats now, because they got to have just a ridiculous amount of torque. Like I don't even like the transoms they're building now even support that much kind of torque on an electric motor like that.
That's above my pay grade. I think it's more a power thing of like how do you get that to run that long? Because like, what do you have like? Just deck, all batteries basically. To power that thing.
They're gonna take out the gas tank and just put like 12 lithiums there.
It would have to be like a 10-foot long lithium battery or something.
It's just gonna be.
I don't know.
Don't worry.
A 200 volt, like 1,000.
God, does it rip?
Yeah, I'm sure Dakota and X2 are already working on it. They're like, guys, we need a lithium battery that is the size of my desk. Like, we gotta get it out. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we need it to not start on fire and run a motor.
Yeah.
We need it to not blow up, and we need it yesterday.
And somehow charge in approximately 6 hours or 4, because we know all the guys are going to be at the bar till 2 and expect that their boat is charged by the time they want to leave at 5 for the tournament.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. But
Yep.
we'll
No.
see. I don't know. It's a cool little motor for sure. And we'll see. I don't know. It looks like super portable, super nice, but
Yeah,
That's
they
a
live heavy in the kayak space. They're
Yeah.
strong charge right
that
now.
Newport company.
Yeah, it's like them and Torpedo in the kayak space, and
Okay. Yeah.
strong charge this year from them.
That's
Damn.
cool. I think so. This is a new one, kind of along on that electric motor deal. But Bailey will be able to talk about this as well, because he probably actually knows a little bit more about it than I do. But Minn Kota came out with their brushless trolling motor, the Ultrex Quest, I believe it's called.
Mhm.
But I got to film Noah in that, and I've filmed it a little bit now. Been in the boat with him. Dude, that thing is so badass. It is insane. Like, people talk about the stupid term game changer, but people talk about like crazy innovations and stuff. This trolling motor, like, dude, it fucks. Like,
Did you
is
say it's
awesome.
the deal?
It is the deal.
That's the sauce.
It's really cool. Like, it's just crazy to have a trolling motor. Like, now, having been in the boat with that and then listening to how loud mine actually is, or going through weeds, like,
Mhm.
I had Noah go through a thick mat with that, he had target lock and 360 in front, and just plowed straight through it, and it never rattled or anything. Like, it's fully stout, really good and quiet. And then that trolling motor, like, Pink, you said that 3 horsepower one they made went 6 miles an hour. This
6.5.
pulled his 19.5 foot Skeeter 4.2
Wow,
10.
that's crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
it is so good.
I mean, I obviously haven't seen it like in person or anything, but I did like some of the feet. Like, I think it's badass that new one that they have now, it can be set like the one motor. It can be run on 24 or 36 volts. I think is really badass. I think that's
Yes.
that's a very smart design, so that you could like swap it between boats, even, like, you know what I'm saying? I could pull it off of one boat, put it on another one that's set up totally different.
Yes. Yeah. So that's cool. And then the other feature is the One Boat Network button, where, Bailey, you can probably
whatever you
educate me on exactly what you can do with it. I know Noah's is set up for his Raptors, so
Mhm.
you get rid of stomp switches and everything, and that button works every single time.
Really?
So it's really, really cool, because they basically took away, you know how a trolling motor forever, or the Ultrex one at least did, it had that north up one or whatever that literally nobody ever used, and really never knew what it was for. It was just kind of there. Well, they got rid of that one because no one used it, and it is now the One Boat Network button. And yeah, it is awesome, man. That trolling motor is nuts, and the bracket is so beefy now. It's good. I just want to see how fast that thing will pull a kayak, Bailey.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Sounds like you got to put one on there. Dude, that
Let it
thing is
rip.
legit. That button, like, you can, I know, like, you're just saying Noah puts it for his Raptors. Like, Carl puts a waypoint. He has his as a waypoint button. So, like, if he's out practicing, he can mark a waypoint without bending over and somebody see him waypointing something. So you can that One Boat Network button, you can make whatever you want. But
So you can like you can basically like pre-program what function you want that to do.
Kind of like how you can set your defaults on your graphs. It's kind of the same
Yep.
thing. You can do it almost like that with your trolling motor.
And that waypoint thing is super badass, because you always got vultures looking and doing everything, and like,
yeah,
as sneaky as you think you are, you're not. So just being able to like hit a button where it could be your spot lock, it could be waypoint, it could be anything, like, it's so nice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think the coolest thing about that motor, though, I got to use it probably a month ago now, and one, it's honestly like, it'll throw you off when you first get it, because it is so damn quiet. You have to keep looking down to make sure you're moving, because it's like you don't hear it, you don't feel it, you don't hear it moving at all. But how intuitive it is. Like, have you guys heard of the drift mode yet?
He told me about it, but you dive in.
I heard about it, but
so essentially, don't quote me completely on this, because I won't speak to it as good as like the brand managers at Minn Kota would do. But essentially, you can mark a waypoint where you're going to start and a mark waypoint where you're going to stop. pending wind direction and all that, all you got to do is you're going to go towards that waypoint and you select the speed that you want to go at, that you want to drift at. So if you want to drift at 1.1, like you set it at that, or you back up, you just fish and the motor controls it all. And you can, like, once you're done drifting, you can basically click one button and it restarts the whole thing for you.
So it's like an automated controlled drift is what you're like.
Yeah. And you don't have to touch anything.
That's sick.
Yeah. That's probably one of the coolest things for a smallmouth, guys. Like that is,
and walleye dudes are going to eat that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Bailey is for people that don't know, Bailey's a smallmouth guy out on Erie, the St. Lawrence River a little bit, but the Great Lakes and drifting is a huge deal out there. And you just your life got so much better.
Yeah. I was thinking like St. Lawrence guys, dude, like all those shoals are trying to drift. You can just mark waypoints in between the shoals and it just like current's going 2 miles an hour. I want to drift at 0.8. You set it what you want to go and you just go between the shoals and you're like,
God,
you're just walking around walking around your boat with your drop shot. You're like, oh, there's a boulder over here. And you just walk to the back corner and you're like, oh, well, I'm by that one. There should be one over here now. And you go walk around.
Yeah, it's pretty damn legit, man. Yeah.
That's super cool.
That's a sweet one.
Weren't there like a ton of trolling motors came out this year though, huh?
Yeah, Power Pole, like Garmin with the Kraken or whatever. They launched it like a week before iCast, but I guess it's not a Bass motor. It's like their version of the Tarova.
I think Jay is running it.
I think I saw that. I didn't watch the video, but I did see some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But the Power Pole one I watched like a little highlight, breakdown of that one or whatever. It looked sick, but it was like $5,000.
Yeah,
I think 6.
Yeah, I think that the bummer for them is going to be they came out with the most badass trolling motor. And then 2 months later, Minn Kota was like, "Here's a better one for $2,000 less."
You had your time.
There'll be people that buy it though.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, there already is. I will say the one thing I really like about the Power Pole trolling motor is I think it's going in the right direction of where trolling motors need to go, and that's smaller, not bigger.
Yes,
but they did. After they launched, I think it was like maybe a couple weeks or a month, they came out and like, hey, our motor doesn't work with any high frequency transducer. So like, good luck. Yeah. There's a lot of guys like that use like 360 and stuff that had to return them, I guess.
Damn. Oh, really? So 360, it wouldn't work at all. It was just interfering 24/7.
Blown out. Same with like 2D and stuff. Yeah.
Damn. That's a drop ball.
But I think it's something that has to do with rigging or something like that. You can get I'm the kayak guy here, so no one's gonna take my.
There were some flaws, we'll say.
Yeah.
You're the kayak.
They did a badass job.
Got more graphs on his kayak than anyone I've ever seen. How many graphs you running on the kayak these days?
Only two.
Only two. Okay. Are they 10s or 12s?
A 9 and a 10.
There you go. Okay.
Sick. I guess you could count an AquaView as a screen.
There you go. I still need to get one of those, dude. That would be so beneficial on Leech.
Changes the way you graph completely.
Yeah, well, it would just be nice if I didn't have to get up all the time and be like, walleyes or smallmouth.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're almost always walleyes. So, oh, it's sweet. Do you have any? I mean, you were impromptu brought into this, Bailey, but did you see anything that you thought was really cool? Then we'll go around to some other stuff. I know Pink probably has a couple other things. I do too, but
so I didn't really get a chance to go see a lot in person. There's some cool kayak stuff that came out, but nothing that really blew me away by any means. But this is going to sound a little biased, but my favorite thing from it was all the new Fenwick rods that came out. Being that, because I mean, everyone talks, especially you guys out in the Midwest, Fenwick, originating out in the Midwest, like everyone grew up, feel like, fishing a Fenwick rod. And
especially spinning rods,
Yeah.
They
relaunched every single model of it. And
I'll have to look into that.
Dude, it's pretty sick. Like, so we were pushing world class at iCast, and I say pushing because I work for Pure Fishing. But the world class rod's dope. But honestly, the $99 Eagle is probably the coolest and best $99 rod that I've ever put in my hands. And for everybody that's the old HMG lover, is going to lose their shit when they feel the new HMG rod, because it's like
all like cork and everything too.
It still got to that OG Fenwick cork. The cool thing though they did. I'm not going to make this sound whole sales pitchy, but this is actually what I had to do all iCast. is there's like, so like if you buy a 7-foot medium heavy casting rod and it, from Fenwick, and you get an Eagle, and it's $99. You love it for flipping a jig, just throwing random shit at the wall here, like just an example. And you want to say go up to an Elite, which is like a $250 rod, and you want, you know, the same action, same everything, flipping a jig. You just want it lighter, more sensitive. It's the same damn blank that you get when you go up to an Elite, and it's the same action. They use the same blanks in every single rod family going all the way up. So that way you like, if you want to go up to a world class and go to a $450 rod and like a 7'6", it's the same action. Same, nothing changes.
So it's not like guessing, like even with, I mean, Dobbins or NRX or Kisslers or whatever, you pop between different different families in it, and you're like, oh, these are a little more moderate and these are a little more like this. And when you first get into a brand, you're like, I just bought 4 of the wrong rods.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's super sick about it though, is like it helps you like grow within the rod brand, which I think was genius. I don't know why more brands don't do that. But the handles on them, like they did something that was like, it feels like it's genius, but when you take a step back, it's like so common sense. Like, why isn't more people doing this? Is they went with a design firm that literally makes surgical tools to like reduce carpal tunnel and all that. And they had them just basically work with them and designed a rod handle. I don't know why more people didn't think about
human
that.
hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They know nothing about the human hand.
Yeah. It's like,
seems like a good idea. I want my rod to feel like this. Well, you're going to have issues. No, I won't. No, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Pink, what else you got?
So this one, I don't know if this is entirely new. I mean, they dropped it at iCast. I don't know if it's just a new model of it, but I haven't seen this. So Engel, obviously makes like really nice bait coolers and that type of thing. They have a lithium. I think this is just a new size because it's the XL. So I'm assuming they had this before, but it's a lithium rechargeable aerator for a bait cooler, which I've never owned one. I've never even seen one for sale that you could recharge because most of them are still the ones that take like D batteries.
Yeah, that you like pull into a gas station and you're like, nobody has these.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I have like one lantern from like 1995 that still like runs on those, and that's it. But yeah, super sick. It's like got a really nice aerator stone and the whole thing, but you can plug it into a USB thing, so you could even just have like a battery brick with you, like on a trip or like if you're ice fishing, because that's where it kills you is ice fishing. Is like those batteries don't last when you're out, you know, because everything gets cold and then they die, and all your suckers are belly up, and you're like, well, that was cool. But anyway. Apparently Engel makes that. And I think that this one, I did read the little caption they had or whatever. I think it's also like a saltwater, like it's all stainless parts so that you could throw it in like a, you know, a bait bucket with some shrimp or pinfish or whatever and still like use it for that, which is cool. But nice. Yeah. A little rechargeable deal called the Lithium Ion XL Live Bait Aerator from Engel.
Nice.
But
that's a good one.
Yeah. Might have to scoop one.
Sweet. This one, so I got another one, then I'll dive into some other brands eventually. But this one, like Bailey said, I don't want it to come off as sponsory pushy or whatever, but I'm one of the lucky people who've gotten to use it for the last few weeks, and it'll be out soon for everyone to get. But All Terrain Tackle finally came out with a new jig. It's a Hail Mary Ned. I know there's a ton of Ned rig jigs out there and everything, but this is a football jig Ned rig head. And like I was telling Pink at the beginning of the show, Bailey, I've been on Leech a ton, and it is very snaggy rock. I have yet to lose one.
Oh, damn. I was about to say, if you find the waypoint, you could get these before.
Yeah, but no, they don't. And it's really cool because like when you're dragging a normal Ned rig, like you can feel it when it hits everything and all that. But like with this and the 90 degree and everything, when you drag it, you can feel it flip up and flip back. Like you can feel it stand up and come back.
Is it tungsten?
No, it's lead. Because if they did tungsten, like think of how small that jig head would.
Well,
be.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't know if they went to a tungsten one or.
Yeah,
but it's a football head with like a light wire hook.
Yeah, but it's not a light wire. It's more of a medium wire. So it's the VMC Barbarian hook, which is very comparable to if you ever hear Gussie talk about hooks, he basically just talks about the Gami 604. it's pretty comparable to that. It's a little bit bigger of a hook, but I've loved it, man. Like it's really good. It's really sticky. And
is that just a straight shank, or is it like a screw lock, or what has it got?
No, it's got a keeper. It's got a really good Ned rig keeper for any Z-Man plastics. It's just a hook, but it's a little bit longer. So I've noticed it's way easier to get a plastic on it than if you have one that's up tight to the head. It feels like it's really hard to get it snug. Yeah, it's way further down, so you just get it over that and you're good to go. But yeah, that I would recommend people try it when they get it.
And what's the name of it?
It's the Hail Mary Ned.
Hail Mary
from All Terrain. Yeah, like I was chatting with Nipper about the name, and he's like, "Oh, I just figured, football. It's a football head, Hail Mary, and also let's be real, when you chuck a Ned rig, you're like, this ought to work."
This is the one? It has like boot tread on the head, right? Like it's like real.
Yeah, All Terrain has their like traction head.
Yeah,
that's what they have on all theirs. But yeah, dude, it feels way different than every other Ned rig head I've used. I've really liked it so far. So far I have no complaints about it. Really, it's been really good, and it sticks the crap out of them. Hook, when you do get it, you're gonna look at it and be like, this hook looks bigger. It is a little bit bigger, but like I said, I've just not really had any issues with it, and it's just been sticking them. It's been really good.
Sweet.
You got anything else, Bailey?
I'll be honest. The only other thing that kind of
I want to know if this cull shed thing's cool. You can be pushy on this because you're pure fishing because it's Berkeley, but how is that swim bait? Because everybody was pushing it super hard for a while there. I think everybody. Cull shad, the Nessie's a glide.
The cull shad already came out though. Before
kind of.
Everybody was throwing it at Norman, weren't they?
Yeah. So here's the fun thing about being working in PR is you always have to expect somebody to slip up and say things they're not supposed to. So several times now with Pure Fishing in the few years I worked for the agency that they employ is that we've told our pros, hey, you guys have exclusive, opportunity to use these baits. Like no one else has them. We're not talking about them. Do not say, like, you can say this is a Berkeley prototype, whatever. Do not say such and such name. It never fails that literally the next day or hours afterwards, they say the exact same thing. And it's only the guy that's on the live camera that says it, AKA John Cox, every single time you tell him. But it's literally like, it never fails. Somebody, I think it was Evers or somebody, we were like, just don't say the name on live. And I guess during practice, the guys were like, we're hammering big ones on the cull shad. And then they're like, we don't know if we want to talk about it yet. And on live, they're like, Berkeley cull shad. And I was like,
I think the whole field was throwing it. And I went to Tackle Warehouse at least 12 times being like, I got to be able to buy this thing. Yeah. And then I couldn't. And then I Google it and I'm like, it's not even a thing. Like I can't even find this thing. And everybody,
then it was available, right? At some point.
They put it's been a roller coaster with that bait.
Wasn't it like a whole thing where they recalled them and shit? Like what happened?
Yeah, I can give you the whole rundown of the schedule, man. This is my life. This is my roller coaster of work. So originally we weren't going to talk about it. Red Chris comes, they're catching them on it. They say it on live. Now we are going to talk about it. So everyone's coming to the booth, media wise, and asking for them. Like guys that weren't even Berkeley guys were asking for cull shads that are in the event itself. So it was a big buzz because for folks that are like, oh, it's just another mag draft. It's really not. There's two different ways.
Way different.
The cull here's I'll simplify it for the bass guys out there is. You can have both of them, and they will both swim completely different. A mag draft is great for your gizzard shad type of imitations. The cull shad is a herring. It kicks way harder, way wider. Like if you want something slow, kind of like a gizzard shad with a tail barely kicks much, mag draft's perfect. If you want herring, something that you can actually burn and it won't blow out, throw the cull shad. Like you can find places for both of them. But essentially so we decided literally on the spot within hours we were going to launch cull shad. And so they moved up. They moved up the timelines because there's so many people were asking for them. Dealers wanted them so they could ship them out. So they ship them out, and they're like, "Hey, we got to recall all these." So apparently there's just an inconsistency with the hardness of the bait, like not to the standard they want. So they never asked for them back. They never actually did like a legit, quote unquote recall. They just said, hey, son, if you bought one, send us a picture. We're going to send you back the same size and color and like the way we actually want them being distributed. So basically, like if you bought them, like you just got your like another one of your call shed. So a bunch of people got them and they were running perfectly fine and just got free call sheds. So like it was kind of clutch for them, I guess. But yeah, I mean that was everyone's still throwing them, still catching.
Yeah, no, they're sweet. I need to get one I think they would crush for smallmouth.
Oh yeah,
because like it's like a mag
right
draft.
size.
You throw them in the spring, and you can a bit in the summer and stuff. But in the spring, they're really good. But like you said, they blow out. Mm-hmm. So like if you're trying to burn it like a spinnerbait or something, you absolutely can't. But God, if you can, do they make a 5-incher? Or is it only 6?
We can't talk about it yet.
It's a 6,
6 and an 8.
Okay, but like still, even a 6. Like if you can burn that over a rock reef, holy shit! Like that could be really, really.
Well,
really
and that's
good.
a different kick too. It sounds like.
Yeah, and Minnetonka is an awesome swim bait lake too, so that could be really good there. I've caught a lot of largemouth on a mag draft on Tonka lately, but
and it's a whole different like. It's not like a magnet or anything like the mag draft. It's a hook clip instead. So in the clip,
it looks really
way
cool.
longer than the magnet. I'm speaking from buying a 30 mag drafts a month at this point because I throw it all the time. Like the hook clip, it makes the bait last way longer.
Gotcha. No, that's sweet.
I'll be honest though, iCast, the only thing that really caught my eye, I've never really liked VMC much at all. But this swinging Ned rig jig is actually pretty intriguing.
It looked cool. I like the concept behind it.
Yeah, I've never thrown it and everything. It's just like it's intriguing that someone hasn't thought to do that yet.
Yeah, it's like a swing head, but Ned rig.
Right.
Like, that type of thing. You would think too it'll be so much easier to get your Ned rig to stand up.
Yeah.
I just wonder what the hookup's going to be like.
Yeah, it's intriguing. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like they put their Nico hook in it, which that's probably the only hook from VMC that I use is their Nico.
I've heard their new Redline series is actually very good.
I've heard the same thing. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Neither have I. But yeah, I'm with you there. I use the VMC Nico hooks, and that is the only VMC hook I have. But like I said, that Hail Mary Ned has that Barbarian, and I've been like, good hook. Been happy with it. But yeah, VMC seems to have stepped up their game. It's a bummer Sobi ain't here because he was gonna walk us through all the Crush City stuff because he got to use them for a while before anybody knew they existed. He actually kept a secret, which was very impressive.
I'm surprised.
First time ever.
I know he did it. What else you got?
We'll
Pink?
see. Maybe we'll try to get him. Maybe we'll throw some stuff up on social media or something with some of those clips of him with those. So I don't know. There's a brand that I've been following. I mean, that
we should do the bad ones.
Oh, I got some bad.
We will. I'll do that right now. But so there's. So are you familiar with that brand Castco?
Cast King?
No, Cast.
Oh, Castco.
No, I don't know. Just Cast.
So it's a saltwater company that's
capital CAST.
CAST.
Yeah.
Castco.
Yeah. They're good dudes.
So they make some badass lures. They've been kind of like definitely heavy in the saltwater game, and they're starting to make some more freshwater stuff. And there's this style of baits that I really like. I've been kind of watching them. They came out with some new baits this year, really cool. I mean, I'm not like dive into them or anything, but kind of a cool company to kind of watch for some hard baits and stuff. I think they have some swim baits and stuff too, but I got one that I thought was really stupid.
Perfect. Here we go.
I have virtually no background information on this other than I saw a picture of it and I said, that's fucking dumb. And
this is where Pass the Barb is awesome, Bailey. We get to just rip on shit.
I don't get to do this.
I know. This is awesome.
I'll hold this up so you can see it, but you can Google it on your own. So there's a company, Jenko Fishing. They came out with a bait called the Gill Bob that looks like it does not work for anything.
Spelled like Gill Bob, like B-O-B.
Gill space Bob.
I'm looking it up right now.
Bart, it's like a panfish bait. It's supposed to look like some sort of dying bait fish.
Oh my god!
It is like way too much plastic for it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense, and like the description of it basically makes it sound like it doesn't do shit other than sink.
I gotta look.
It's like, yeah, Google it up, dude. Because the profile of it makes virtually no sense, especially for how it's designed around the jig that they sell it for.
Okay, sorry. I'm looking stuff up. We got dead air right now, but we got
So
we gotta look at
I
this.
could be totally missing the boat on this, and everyone's going to be whacking fish on this gill bob thing, and I'm just going to be the odd man out. But I seriously doubt it.
I'm laughing at the idea of somebody walking in the office. I got this great name for this bait, the gill bob.
Well, and it doesn't like address anything about the lure.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
But it's literally just like a big flat piece of plastic that they turn, like vertically, and then put like
this is it.
Are you looking at a picture of this?
Yeah, I looked at it. Yeah.
Explain to me how a fish could get hooked on that bait without swallowing it.
I don't know. I actually have no idea.
So I don't know. Check this thing out. Gill bob. I don't know.
I do have one. I think the thought was maybe good, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, there's no way this is going to be big or used. And you brought up cast, so I thought you were going to take it from me.
Okay.
But the Cast King iReel 1 IFC Smart Fishing Reel.
iReel 1?
Yeah, so this is...
I'm pulling it up.
This is a reel that is Bailey, you probably know something about this as well.
Oh, I had to hear it all iCast because people were walking around with it, and they had like JBL speakers connected to them, and they were like flipping it or like on the water. Dude, the thing, all it does is tells you how far you casted, the speed you're reeling, and it's literally every 5 seconds is cast was 50 something yards. And then it was
my god!
And then as you're reeling, it's current reel speed 1.1 miles per hour, and then 2 seconds later, reel speed is 1.2 miles per hour. And it was like every 2 seconds, like it was obnoxious. I'm so happy you took this one, Bart, because this was the one I was going to talk about too. And what dumbest crap in the world?
I think the thought is good that you're like, okay, I want to make sure I'm figuring out a pattern or whatever, but it's like also. Do you have to charge that thing? Because I think you do.
It connects.
You get back. I gotta plug my rods in, bro.
I have to plug my reels in. Could you imagine if
somebody was saying you might have to actually put that away when it's raining because it won't.
Oh my god, your reel shorts out. Like,
yeah, I guess it'll work. Like if it's not like powered up.
Like if it's dead, but it'll still be a fishing reel.
I guess could you imagine if it's so electronic that like you're low on battery and you're just ripping a crankbait, and you go to cast it and it dies and just locks. Yeah. It's just bait's gone. Yeah. And you're like you can't even reel it. Yeah. Like I know that isn't the thing, but that would be hilarious.
I really hope they didn't put a lithium in there so that when like the battery gets low, like the voice starts talking slower and it's like your real speed. That's the way to go. It's be like this slow drain.
Yeah. But here's the best part. Guess what the MSRP of it is?
Oh god, tell me it's like super. Is it like $100? It's expensive.
$349.99.
Oh my! This thing better be lit.
So I think the people that have done it, I think, is Daiwa, and theirs is like 500 something.
Daiwa has this also.
I think Daiwa made one, but it's only available in Japan. I think.
Does it talk?
Yeah, like it does all that stuff.
Is it loud?
So the reel doesn't talk. You connect the reel Bluetooth to a speaker, but it also has like an app and everything, and it tracks like your data. Which I mean, part of that's kind of dope.
People out there just ripping this through their boat speakers.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's actually bought the damn thing yet. I think if you are, you're spending your money horribly. But I guess that's why
you could buy like Curados and Tatulas and like Zillion, like some nice.
People are going to get very drunk using these reels, competing against each other.
Something, man. I don't know what people do with that, but anybody you see show up to the boat ramp on tournament morning or Tourney Tuesday with one of these reels, it's like you already beat that guy. Like
How
Yeah.
sick is that? You're sitting there like pre-tournament, everyone's getting rigged up. This dude's like peeling line off, and it's like telling him how fast he's pulling line off is real. Dude's gonna get just roasted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Damn.
that was mine. That I was like, whatever. And then I mean, I was just scrolling through the iCast page. I just thought that was funny. I know nothing about the rod. It could be great. It's a saltwater rod, but this company, I don't know. I think it's their brand name, but it's called Boner Spinning Rods. I thought that was pretty good.
I mean, come on. Like,
I
you
just
gotta know.
stopped. I got to it and I was like, what?
Did I
Yeah.
read that right?
Boner custom rods. Yeah. Boner spinning rods. Yeah. It's a thing.
I mean, they had to have known.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, for sure. Yeah. It's probably a guy's.
I mean, I'm just.
We never saw this coming. We really didn't.
This was 4 buddies who started a company, and then they were like, you know what, Jeff Boner, we're gonna name it after you because this will be funny, and that's how the name started. I can virtually guarantee that.
Good.
But yeah, there was no other crazy. I will
just say I just went to their website, and the first piece of merch that comes up is a white T-shirt on the back that says "Ask me about my boner."
Yeah, perfect.
Oh my
They
god.
lean right into it.
Sounds like some Reaction Innovations type stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, I could be wrong, but I didn't see anything else that I was like, oh, what the heck? Just normally there's a couple. But Bailey, you thinking of anything?
So I was for sure gonna go with the Cast King reel, but
I'm sorry I stole that from you. I just remember seeing that and being like, no.
no, you're good. And there's always a handful of stupid baits that come out too. But
I wish Live Target was still around. They'd be good for this segment.
Yeah. No, dude, one that I'm gonna say I'm not gonna call it bad because I haven't used it yet, so I can't call it bad, but I'm gonna call it confusing marketing. And I just don't feel like they didn't explain their story. For a brand that has so much story behind it, they didn't explain. I don't understand why they did this. But St. Croix and their new 7 reels makes.
I was actually
sense.
just looking at those, and I was like, "What? But what is that?"
They had this giant branding like 7 in front of the main entrance for iCast, and I'm sitting there 7. I'm like, oh, is this like a new brand? Like it's very confusing. There's no vocalization of the two being under the same brand. Like it's St. Croix 7 series reels, and they're like blue, like red, white, and blue, and like totally not St. Croix colors. I just think I'm not going to call them. So the reels might be great. I just think the marketing was poor.
Interesting decisions made.
Yeah, interesting is a nice way to say it wasn't very good. And I'm sure the St. Croix guys are awesome, but I don't know where the thought process was there.
Yeah,
and it could have been great. I just feel like the communication was pretty poor.
For sure. Well, I think that's good for our little segment. Pink, do you want to go into Bailey? Since you swung in, we're going to play a little game. You'll probably enjoy this. This is one of Pink's favorite segments. And you actually will probably be better at this than I am.
I think you'll be good at it, so we're gonna give her a shot here anyway. But this is a segment we called 1v1. Normally we play with more people, so it's like 1v1v1, but that's fine. So basically, you and Bart are gonna go head to head.
Okay.
Essentially, the way this works is it's kind of a knowledge based game. It's not like trivia necessarily, but this in the past we've done things like. I'll name off a bunch of colors that a bait company makes, and I'm looking for like the company that has these signature colors, kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So this week the category is going to be these are all descriptions of lures on Tackle Warehouse as they're written on Tackle Warehouse, and all of the bait names and company names have been scrubbed from the description. So instead of saying like the name of the lure, it'll just be like this bait or this company kind of thing. Okay. So these are descriptions as they're written.
Pink is very proud of this because this is all he did at the city of Chanhassen today.
I put some honest effort into this one.
So we just shouting this out. Are we just shouting out the brand names?
So you basically, the way you buzz in is you just say your name. So if you think you have the answer, say your name. I'll say, yep. What is it? And if you're correct, you get the point. If you're wrong, if you like cut me off while I'm reading, I'll finish reading the rest of the description. Then Bart gets a shot at it.
Okay.
If he gets it wrong, you can guess again. yeah, you just say your name and
Yep.
you get to answer.
This gets very interesting. Shout out to Matt Voigt and his kids who are definitely listening to this. And when we did animal sounds, we're yelling at all of us that we couldn't get them right.
Our fans have definitely taken to this game. So, and every time it's different. So, okay. I let off with a couple easy ones to kind of ease everyone into it, and then they'll get a little more difficult. But okay. So here we go. Number 1. One of the most refined and highly anticipated vibrating jigs to ever hit the U.S. market, featuring an exclusive low center of gravity head with flat bottom and super thin yet super strong stainless steel blade. This combination ensures this bait starts vibrating quickly and also allows us to hunt side to side like a real bait fish. Bart.
Is it the jackhammer?
Correct.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
I thought it was too easy to be true, honestly.
That's what I thought too.
I know. Like I said, I picked a couple easy ones to get us rolling. So
God damn. Okay.
All right. So Bart gets a point there. Bart, you want to keep score? I don't have anything to write with. Or just remember how many points you have. Bailey, you have 0 currently.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn. You got it? You ready?
It's taking a while to write one.
All right. Here we go. All right. Number 2. And I have a decent number of these, so we'll see. All right. A great representation of nearly all bait fish. This bait is a deadly little appetizer that will have bass drooling to get a taste. Crafted with a flat bottom and thinned out tail section, it glides to the bottom slightly nose first with its tail wagging to mimic the movements of real bait fish. It's also infused with a heavy dose of flavoring that catches up to 45% more than previous formulas.
Bailey. Does it say the bait too?
Oh, yeah.
Brand? Oh, the bait. Oh,
the bait. Because if you say the brand and you don't get the bait, Bart might be able to steal it.
Damn. I don't know the bait. I'm going to go Berkeley Flatworm.
Correct.
Oh, really?
That was going to be my guess. I was going to go. Damn it. I was about to buzz in when the 40% hit. I'm like, this is for sure max scent, and it has to be the flatworm.
It's funny, though, because like so many of the descriptions, right, they load it up with their brand name, right? They're like, oh, the Berkeley Advantage, and like all this shit, you know?
Yeah. Dude, when you said the tail like quivers out, I'm like, I never seen a flatworm tail like quivers. So I'm like, it can't be the flatworm.
You're fishing it wrong, bro. You're fishing
it absolutely wrong. Does not. Like, this tail flickers. It's like, no.
I took these straight from Tackle Warehouse. Okay.
Bailey's gonna be going to their R&D department or whoever writes their manual is like, what the fuck?
Who wrote this?
Change this shit.
You ever thrown this thing? It goes bleh.
All right, here we go. Number 3. Made using an even softer version of plastic, this bait provides a realistic feel, longer holds, and increased hookup ratios. Expertly crafted to trick out the most finicky fish, to trick the most finicky fish into biting. This bait features a subtle action that works wonders on wacky rig and increasingly popular Ned rig, offered in a host of bass colored Bart.
Yamamoto Senko?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
And then the last sentence of that was offered in a host of classic bass colors. It's a must-have for beginners and tournament veterans alike.
Yum Dinger?
Incorrect.
Damn, I don't know. Wacky Rig and Ned Rig?
Can we get a brand so that we can guess this?
It's a Z-Man product.
Oh, is it the Bart? Is it the Finesse Turd?
Correct.
Wait, what? Wacky Rig and a turd?
I don't know, dude. It's like people.
It says it works wonders on wacky rigs.
Have you ever tried it? Do you think it would sink?
No, it floats.
To put like a 2-aught hook on it, or like a size 2
like
Nico
like
hook, and you like chuck it, and you're like, it's got to be getting down there.
It's like your pinky just falling flat the whole time.
I'm telling you, dude.
I don't think it sinks. I'm just saying, like,
maybe that's why it's so good. It's a topwater worm.
Pink, we have to try this tomorrow in Tourney Tuesday. I just want to see if
you
can get a
wacky
to sink.
Sobi's going.
We'll look at it on Mega Live and we'll be like, how long does this take?
This ain't
we'll
it.
Be there for like
this
12 minutes.
Or I'll catch a 5 immediately.
I'm laughing at the idea of Sam going hard as a mother, like trying to beat you guys, and you're just sitting there trying to wacky rig a turd, just seeing if it floats.
You're like, how about if I rig it? How big of a hook do I need to put on this thing for?
And
it
then
to
again,
sink?
we'll be like, dude, we didn't have a limit till 8. Oh, God.
Yeah, I could not. Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, here we go. Number 4. So Bart got the point there, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, so we're 2-1. 2-1.
All right. Taking shallow water swim bait fishing to a new level, it combines big profile, drawing power from proprietary honeycomb technology to increase durability without sacrificing action. Bart.
Berkeley Call Shad.
Correct.
I got
That's
you on
gotta
your own
hurt.
bait.
That's gotta fucking hurt.
I
dude.
literally wrote that. That's
That's
embarrassing.
so good, dude. Oh, God.
You said honeycomb. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, there's no way you did Berkeley again. Like,
There's no rules here, bro. There's
I
no
know.
rules.
I heard honeycomb and I like looked at you for a second, like, are you
You're
gonna
say it?
you gonna
It
buzz
can't
in?
be. He didn't answer, right?
We just talked about this for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was dying when you were talking about that. I was like, I'm literally gonna read this thing. All right,
funny.
number 5. Bart's dusting you right now, dude. All right.
I know.
I literally wrote that.
It doesn't get
All
much
right.
worse than that.
Precisely engineered to dive fast to a preset depth and stay in the strike zone longer than any crankbait on the market. This lure has been proven effective at the highest levels of tournament fishing. Made
Bart.
of the top Bart.
Is it Strike King XD? Yeah, XD series. Do I have to guess
Incorrect.
which XD? No, it's not the XDs.
It's not. You're wrong. So
Okay.
all right. So now I'll finish reading it and then you can answer, Bailey.
Okay.
All right, so where was I? Lures proven effective at the highest levels of tournament fishing. Made from the top 7% of balsa wood. It utilizes carefully placed internal weights. Tapered fuselage and thin tail design creates the ultimate crankbait action. This ultra-thin polycarbonate lip digs the bait down quickly to the desired depth. Swimming in a side-to-side action only balsa crankbaits can achieve. Dives down 10 feet, yet pulls with ease. Perfectly weighted to provide a quick dive, nose down position, allowing for immediate descent to desired depths, and can be easily cast 150 feet.
You said, well, that's a long cast.
Yeah.
But you literally said like 3 more words, and it was like, oh fuck, I picked the wrong one.
Yeah. Rapala DT10.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, if you waited
said-
3 more seconds,
If I would have waited
know.
2 more seconds, I had it, because in my head I was like, it's a DT or an XD. But you said the dives fast, and I was like, well, an XD dives faster than a DT, so I'll go with that.
Yeah. It just kills me the way some of these companies like write some of this stuff. Like you can tell like which one, like who took vocab hardcore.
Mm-hmm. See who
Rapala.
used AI, who didn't.
Yeah, the 150-foot cast. It's like, now that we have live scope and stuff or mega live, like I look and I'm like, damn, dude, like I chuck sometimes and I think I hit 80 feet and I'm at like 72 and I'm like, God, just can't get it there.
Well, 150, that's a long way.
That's
All
a
right.
long ways, dude.
That's a long way.
All right, so we're 2-3 now, right?
Yes.
Yes,
All right.
that's what the tallies say.
All right, here we go. Once a closely guarded secret of the pros, this bait has quickly become a staple among professional and amateur anglers alike. Carefully crafted and precision engineered, it sets the standard for jerkbait fishing. Offered in a one of a kind. Yes, Bart.
Mega Bass Vision 110.
Correct.
Damn.
Correct. Yeah. Nice. That was good. All right.
You said
number
jerkbait, and I was like, we're done.
I know some of them are like throwing down some pretty big claims in these, but all right. All right, here we go.
Changer, bro.
This is it. Here we go. There's nothing like fishing the weeds and slop, and nothing like the surprise and the violence of a big bass crashing through the thick stuff to eat your frog.
Bailey.
This bait's bait. Oh,
Pro Bronze Eye.
Incorrect.
What?
Oh,
We've been going like the big brands. Fuck.
This bait's soft plastic is just the right consistency to ensure solid, consistent hookups while remaining weedless as it navigates over matted vegetation. Its bass boat belly allows it easily to walk the dog in open water and even features a drain hole to expel water to keep it running perfectly. Available in a range of realistic colors, this bait crushes the competition.
It's River to Sea. Is it the Fat Matt Daddy Frog? I don't remember the name of it, but that's what it is, isn't it?
It's not. It's not even the right company.
Really? It's not the River to Sea? That's what I thought it was. Huh.
No.
Is it?
You get another shot, Bailey, if you want it.
Booyah Pad Crusher?
Correct. Correct. And I will say, this was one of them, Bart. I told you this before. So whoever wrote this shit, they spelled vegetation wrong on Tackle Warehouse. So if you want to clean that up.
That could be Tackle Warehouse.
This is it. Maybe. Somebody wrote it wrong. Booyah Pad Crasher. Get your shit dialed in Tackle Warehouse, okay?
Does it really have a bass boat bottom, though? I totally thought that would be River to Sea when he said that.
That's their selling point, dude.
Okay.
It's a bass boat belly.
All
right.
Stupid.
You didn't write that one?
I didn't write that one. Fire me. Fire me if I did.
All right, here we go. Made from premium balsa wood and hand-tuned to perfection right out of the box, this crankbait features a precise shape, true-to-life colors that allow it to mimic the most abundant bait fish in the world over.
Bailey.
Regarded... What?
Waterwood Custom Baits?
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Wow, we were like somewhat in notable companies, and you just pulled one out I've never even heard of.
You really jumped the gun on this
I'm trying to think what other balsa, unless we're doing Rapala all over again.
You jumped the gun.
All right,
regarded by many as the benchmark by which other crankbaits are measured, it performs without fail whether it's fished in ultra shallow water or super fast. Delivering the most famous wobble as it moves and deflects off a cover. It also casts like a bullet even into the wind. Available in an array of proven colors and boasting super sharp VMC black nickel trebles. The precision action, detailed finish, and proven fish catching patterns make it a must-have bait for all anglers.
Oh, VMC, it's got to be Spro.
Totally Spro. I actually don't know what this is. I don't think it's the right hook brand, but I was going to go with a KVD square bill.
That is incorrect. Incorrect.
Do you know what it is?
Is it Rapala Ott's Garage?
Incorrect. That's close.
Damn.
Bart, you get one more shot.
BX Brat?
Incorrect. The correct answer is the Rapala Shad Wrap.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's very close to the Ott's Garage.
All right. No points there. No points. All right. Here we go. This tiny vibration bait, great for targeting bass as well as various other fish species, is excellent for ripping through bait fish in cold water. It accurately mimics a variety of forage species with its unique vibrating action and realistic color patterns. It also features 3 settings for tying your line. This allows you to vary the pull point based on how deep you want to fish it and what type of vibration you want. The closer to the head, the bigger the wobble. The farther back, the tighter the wobble. Also equipped with super sharp, high-quality Viper hooks and available in a variety of colors. This is a versatile and effective bait. Bart.
Demiki Vault blade bait.
Correct.
I can't remember the freaking name of it. I can't.
You said the 3 things, and I was like, is it a blade bait? It's definitely a blade bait.
Yeah.
There's like a couple key things in each description that it's like if you answer before that, you're so screwed.
Yeah, like with the XD.
Yeah.
I always confuse the Demiki with the Mega Bass, like the Dyna, whatever you call them.
The blade bait. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always mix up the names.
All right. We'll see if you guys get this one. Recently, more and more anglers have begun utilizing time-tested classics. like this one that gives bass something to look at that they haven't seen in a while. This bait is perfect for schooling fish and great for ripping near the bottom. The classic tail spinner design gives a generous amount of flash, and sleek shape allows it to cast a country mile with ease. Just as effective today as it was 50 years ago, it continues to be one lure that fish can't resist.
That tail spinner really threw me off.
Yeah. Is it
anybody
it
at all?
Duo Realis? I don't even know the freaking name, but it's the tailspin bait.
Incorrect.
Did they get the brand right?
No. No.
Oh, damn. I don't know.
Bart, you got a guess at all?
No.
All right. That's the Man's Little George.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Neither would I.
Classic OG.
Classic OG bait, I guess. Fuck.
It is.
Huh. I'm
All right,
missing
here
out.
we go. Well, whatever, man. No points. Nothing. Don't worry. We got more.
How many more do we got?
There's 4 more.
Oh, word.
Often imitated but never duplicated, this is the standard by which all their topwater poppers have been judged for over 3 decades. Slowly chugging it along the water surface or retrieving it quickly like a skittering shad during certain times of the year.
Bailey.
Bailey.
Head and Popar?
Correct.
God damn it.
Well,
I couldn't remember the brand. I knew it was the Papa.
It's Rebel, but I'll give it to you.
Yes. I was going to say it's not Head and it's Rebel.
It's Rebel, but he got the Popar, so it's fine.
Hey, they're marketed together.
All right, here we go. We got to be pretty close. What are the points? Got to be pretty close.
5-4.
Oh, really? I thought Bart was like crushing me right now.
No, it's 5-4.
All right, so whatever. It's coming down to it here. And there's 3 laps, so somebody's going to win. This ain't going to be no tie. All right. This bait was
there's another Little George bullshit that neither of us get.
Yeah. No, I think you'll get all 3 of these. All right, this bait was designed to be fished in a variety of ways: Texas rigged, wacky style, or even pitched into heavy cover. This soft plastic bait represents a very subtle, lifelike action that even highly pressured fish can't resist. They have a unique hook slot that provides better hookups and are heavily salted, contain live prey technology. Bailey.
Strike King Ocho?
Incorrect.
Damn.
They contain live prey technology and are a better value and don't tear up as fast as competition.
What?
I feel like it's going to be like 60 different.
I know. Which beaver bait is this? Is this the hook?
Once you get
slot
this
is
wrong,
what
I'll give
got
you a
me.
hint.
That's the hook slot is why I went stick bait.
Big bite baits fighting frog?
Incorrect. And it is a worm. I will say that.
A hook slot.
The salt got me too. The salt was like, that's why I went Strike King.
It's a worm.
It's a worm with a hook slot and live prey technology.
Live prey technology? Who the fuck says that? You can't put technology in a damn stick bait.
Well, it's live prey technology. So
yeah. Wait, hold on. I think it's
He's like, it's coming to me.
Fuck, what's the name?
Oh my god!
If you got it, Bart, you could steal. I'm trying to remember the freaking name of the.
No, I have.
God, I literally have it. I literally have it in that room.
You're gonna be so pissed when I say what it is.
Yamamoto Senko.
Incorrect.
Yeah, you got it.
Bart, you got.
Is it a curly tail worm?
No.
God, then I have.
I never. It wouldn't be what I thought it was. I was gonna say, freaking
Berkeley General.
No. That is the description of a yum dinger.
Fuck me. That's what
Really?
I said it earlier in the show. Yeah,
I know.
That's why I didn't even say it. God damn.
At least it's not like him reading bait colors and Sobi just yelled reaction innovations every time.
Every time. Like, even if he would have got it right,
It
like,
wasn't-
no,
he
it
didn't
wasn't
use it.
the first 5 times.
It wasn't he never even did reaction innovations.
No, not once. All right. Here we go. A time-tested classic. This is a direct descendant of a famed lure created by Virgil Ward over 50 years ago. Loaded with bite-sized appeal, it combines a lively split-tail grub with the brightness of a nickel-plated Colorado blade.
Oh,
It works great on a variety of species and can be fished like a traditional spinnerbait or rigged with a bobber and used to target suspended fish. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time angler, no tackle box is complete without one of these.
Bailey.
Bailey.
Oh God. Is Johnson? Fuck. What is the bait name? God damn it! I feel like it's something so basic too.
Oh my God, you're gonna hate yourself.
Spinner grub, like, what is it? Now, Bart.
It's not the spinner grub. I'm sorry.
I literally have some of these in
can't
my boat
remember.
right now. I just bought them.
I know.
and I can't
Everyone does.
remember.
Everyone
I can't
has them.
remember what the name of it is.
I want to look it up so bad.
It's an inline spinner.
I don't know. The name, but...
Maps.
No.
Damn it.
No. Bailey, you got one more shot at it?
I know it's a Johnson.
That's correct. I'll give you that. That is correct. But
Then I'm not getting it because I don't know what that is.
Fuck me. What is it called?
I'll give you 5 seconds, and then I'm going to tell you what it is, and you're going to be pissed.
Spinnerbait. I don't know.
The correct answer is the Johnson Beetle Spin.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Heard of that one?
I know.
Yeah,
There's so many
dude, that's so
people-
embarrassing. That's so
There's
bad.
so many
Isn't
people
that-
just screaming at their
I
speakers
know,
right
dude.
now. These
Well, it's funny
dumbasses.
because, like, I know what it is, right? So I'm just
Dude,
like,
Bart, there's people driving down the road. Beetle spin. Beetle spin.
there's car crashes being caused because you didn't get this correct.
This is what every Minnesota bass angler throws in April when bass season closes, and they're like, "I'm crappie fishing."
I'm crappie fishing. Yeah. Johnson
Oh,
Beetle Spin. There you
God.
go. All right. This is the last one. So where are we at with points?
Still 5-4.
Holy shit.
You
So
said
this
we were
is-
gonna get the last 3, and you were
Well,
wrong
fuck.
about
I
the
thought
last
you what?
2.
I was Yum Dinger, Beetle Spin, and what I'm about to say. I thought this was a home run. Okay.
We
All right,
fell
so
off the map.
This is the last one.
rapidly.
However this shakes out, I have no idea. But okay. Hot out of the molds and ready to pick apart structure. This bait was designed with the help of bass fishing legend Denny Brower. Made to be the ultimate flipping bait.
Bailey.
Bailey.
Strike King Rage Bug.
Correct. Now we have a major problem because now it's tied.
Just pulling up. Just pull up a random ass.
All right.
bait on
All right.
Tackle
I'm
Warehouse.
going to Tackle Warehouse right now. Here we go, boys.
Denny Brower
This-
gave that one away.
Yeah. That
Well,
was
hey,
just
they
bait.
wrote it. Dude.
It could have been the rodent though. It could have been Space Monkey. Like it could have been so many different ones.
Well, if you would have heard the rest, you would have guessed.
I just went with the most popular one. Yeah.
Rage Bug or whatever the fuck. Okay, here we go. I'll even tell you like what category it's in and everything. So I'm going to Tackle Warehouse right now. I'm going to the top sellers list. Top selling tackle. All right, here we go. This is a top seller currently at Tackle Warehouse.
Oh God.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if there was one soft bait for all your favorite techniques? Well, now there is. This bait is extremely effective on an A-rig, jig, spinnerbait, chatterbait, Texas rig, Carolina rig. Well, you get the picture. No matter how it's fished, this thin, sharp tail of this bait catches water and creates a distinctive swinging action. It's also made with a special dual injection molding process, which combines two
Bart.
different Bart.
Kitech swing, fat swing impact.
Should I give it to him?
It's a swim. It's the Kitech. Or is it the
Kitech
other
what?
one?
The Kitech what?
Swing impact fat.
I'll give it to you. It's not the fat one, but
Oh,
It's
is
a
it the
swing
EV
impact.
thing? The
It's
EV
a-
thing?
yeah, Just
It's
the
a
regular
swing,
one.
It's a Swing Impact.
Yeah, Swing Impact.
Yeah,
Kitech Swing Impact.
they have the
yes.
regular and then the fat. But
And
yeah.
they have the fat.
Yeah.
But the
Props
fat
to
is
that.
not on the bestseller list.
Really?
I don't know why the
Well-
jig thing threw me off. I was thinking like Demiki Stinger or something until you said A-Rig, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
All
you
right,
said the
well-
dual injection, and I was like, I've read that on Kitech before.
Yeah.
All right.
Good game.
Well, nice work, Bart. Got the dub there. But yeah, thanks for playing, Bailey.
Oh, yeah.
You did crush some of those. I cannot believe you didn't get call shed though.
Yeah, I feel pretty embarrassed about that one. Probably gonna get fired if they listen to this.
Yeah, we'll throw it on Insta, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That probably will be the #1 clip from this. Is you being like, I wrote that.
I'm totally gonna send it to my
It's all
boss too. That'll be
You're
the
gonna
best
have
part.
to.
I
You'll
know.
have to. And
Be
you
like-
just sitting there, just blank as shit, just being like, I have no idea.
It's hiding in plain sight, baby.
You literally wrote the damn press release, you idiot.
Oh, that's funny. That is
Yeah.
good.
No,
All right, well,
That was
that's been
very
another one for 1v1. So that was good.
And then Bailey, if you need to go, I know you're in a different time zone. You can, or I was thinking we could divert from our schedule, Pink. Maybe do a little story time with Bailey.
Yeah, that's good.
I've never gotten to hear the story of how you won Eufaula, and I mainly thought about this because I always see the social clip of you just getting freaked out by an alligator. And I don't think Pink's ever seen it, so you should tell him about it. You gotta.
Okay.
I'll find this clip. I gotta send it to him. Is it on your
All right,
Instagram?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. I could probably send it to you because I ended up posting it probably a couple times because it was pretty funny. If we're gonna do story time, can I grab a beer really fast?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
do it.
I'm gonna find this quick. Pink, you're gonna laugh so hard.
So what? Give me a little background on this alligator thing.
He's in
Before
a
he gets into
kayak,
the
comes
story.
around a corner, and a fucking monster alligator comes off shore and scares the
Well,
shit out
and
of
he's
him.
kayaking, and there's like in a tournament or what?
Yes, it's in a tournament. It's incredible. It is
All right.
very good. I
This
gotta
sounds
find
like a
it,
clip
though.
that I would like to see.
It went very viral, if I remember right.
Oh, it did. Maybe I've
Mhm.
seen it then. I'll probably, you know what? I'll probably see it and be like, I saw that. I
gotta find it though. Bailey would know where it is before I do.
It's
How
pretty
long ago?
far back, but
Oh,
I
it is.
think if you just go into my reels, it should be there.
That's what I'm going back.
It's got like
It's-
12 million views or something wild.
Yeah, like I said, I was telling him, I'm like, it went really viral. Yeah, there it is. Found it.
I went from like 6,500 followers to like 15,000. Like basically,
I
in a
was
week.
wondering how you just
Just because
blew
of that
up.
clip?
Just because
Yeah.
of that one. Just
It got
because of that.
shared 13,000 times.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
And
Well,
he
and
won
because
the
of that-
tournament on top of it. It was great. But Ryan, I'm sending it to you right now. Watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll
right.
dive into the we'll dive into all of Eufaula.
Yeah.
Trying to
So,
fill some dead
break
air
it down.
here.
This was how long ago was this?
Last April.
Okay, so like just over a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
I'm watching it right now. So, all right. Little yak action. Oh Jesus.
Big fucking gator. The scariest part, if you look at the bubble trail of where it's swimming, it goes right under my kayak.
Jesus.
And that was like maybe 4 foot
I
of
love
water.
the like you panic, like your adrenaline spiked so high right there,
I
and
will-
you're just like, oh,
So 'cause-
paddling as fast as you can.
So you know, because it
away from that
loops,
area.
right? So I've just seen it like 3 times because it loops or whatever, and literally the best is immediately your legs just go like.
Yeah, yeah. I start kicking really fast. Dude, I got roasted in some of the comments though. They're like, "You fucking idiot! You kept pedaling forward. Like, what are you doing? Where are you like going?"
Oh, because everyone's like, "Duh, you have to not pedal forward."
yeah. So I just
Like, how-
decided
what is-
again, yeah,
Because so many people are in that situation daily.
yeah, it was funny. I just fucked people back. I'm just like, yeah, I was trying to fish back there. Yeah, gator, screw off.
I just couldn't imagine how mortified I'd be in a kayak
It
turning
looked
the
like
corner,
a pretty good size
and
one
there's
too.
a gator.
Yeah, it was 10.
Well, yeah, and I've been to Eufaula, I mean, several times now, and I've seen how big the gators are there, and I'm always like, God, man, I'm
Dude,
glad I'm
they're
in a
everywhere.
big boat, and they're everywhere.
So that one was way, way, way up in the river. like almost near the military base, and dude, there is like way more gators up there than the lake.
Yeah,
and there's a clip on there too. I think it's like a couple after that one. That so the guy that was leading on day one, we found this little backwater creek that the guy on day one.
The comments on this clip are
dude, they're wild, right? Dude, the ones on Facebook are even crazier. Facebook ones go wild.
Oh, that just got me. You were telling that. I just read a couple of it.
Yeah, some people just don't know, man. It makes my day though. I love it. This dude that was leading after day one and myself, we had this one little creek to ourselves. We went 1-2 after day one, and literally at the end of day two, I have a clip like from like the last hour of this, like a local ended up coming in behind us. And basically this giant freaking, I couldn't tell you how big it was. The local told us she was like 11 or 12, but I don't know for certain. Just like so Hobie decides to send us to gator country during breeding season of these things. And this freaking,
when is breeding season?
April.
Apparently in April.
Apparently then that's what all the locals are saying. And like apparently this gator was like 50 yards in front of me on the bank. I'm going down one side of the bank. The dude that was in first on day one, Brady Stores, was going down the left side of the bank. And this gator lifts its tail out, lifts its head out like towards the sun, and just lets out this big gruttle growl. And I'm just like sitting there looking. I look at Brady. I start like nervously laughing because it's only 50 yards in front of me, and I'm trying to fish down it, and it's like right in front of like my best shit. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, I just kept fishing because I'm stubborn. And Brady goes, glad I'm not on that side of the bank. And like the local comes behind us and he goes, that means two things. He goes, neither one do you want to be there for. And it basically wants to eat me or fuck me, one of the two. And so I turned around. I said, peace. It's all yours.
Oh my God.
Dude, that place is crazy.
Is this the same spot where that clip is from?
Yep. Same spot. Same spot where I that famous gator clip, like right behind me is where I won that tournament.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild. But
especially in a yak, like rolling into a situation.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that, Pink, because Pink was a yak guy for a while. Then he bought a boat. But
I still yak.
But
you got
Pink
smart.
was a yak guy, and I was like, God, he would love this. Like seeing that clip, because like, what would you do?
Oh my God, dude! Harvest. That's.
I just remember,
man. Go ahead.
I remember seeing that clip of you and texting. Just your face is just like you're so uncomfortable immediately. It's so great.
I wish I had the chesty on that day. It would have been so much better. Dude, I had another run-in like that at Harris Chain. Like fish just started coming towards me. Or not fish, good gosh. Gator, like probably a 9-10 footer came just like was following me. Like 20 feet behind me. I was going down this pad stretch, and I just kept looking behind, and it was still like the same distance. So I never sped up or anything, and I just like I got within I could see fishermen like up ahead, so I kept going, kept looking back, and kept fishing. And like just like if it stays there, we're good, but if it gets closer, we're fucked. And I got to the point where there were some boats within reach that I just like I say floor it in kayak terms. I tried to pedal fast and just so that I knew the people were around me, and thankfully it didn't chase me, but. I don't know. Gators.
I suppose they don't get as spooked from like a kayak than they would like a bass boat or something, right? Like they probably have like.
I mean, I don't know. Like they might look at it like it's another gator.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they must not like give a shit really because it doesn't make any of the same sound or like has the same presence or whatever.
Yeah. So like that clip's not even the craziest clip that came out of that tournament week. So Christine Fisher, she's probably one of the biggest names in kayak fishing. Yeah, she got chased out by like a freaking monster, like chased, like full born. Like she didn't have a motor on her kayak. She might have been toast. Like this thing straight up chased her out, like through a wake, like bad.
So this shit's like happening. Like this happens often in these southern swings, huh?
Yeah, if they decide to bring us there for breeding season. Otherwise,
in April.
Yeah, I mean, but like every time, I'm fairly comfortable now fishing around gators. Like.
Yeah,
I was in a creek in Florida, and there was like 4 of them to me, like surrounding me basically, and it was fine. Like they're more afraid of you than you are of them. Is what I've learned quickly. But it's still
I
like a
love
little
it.
weary though. Like when you see a big one, like But like
Like,
once
if his nose hits my kayak the wrong way, like
yeah.
I'm food.
But I mean, Bart, you
Well, that's
probably
the other
think of the
thing,
same
yeah.
way too, though. Like once you've been in gator country, like the idea of like when you see a log on the surface back when you're up north, you still think gator right away.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It never
Just
leaves.
like
When you get back from down south, you're like, what are you doing here? And then you get
Yeah.
up and you're like, oh well.
It's a stick.
Yeah.
Be in the middle of Lake Erie, and I'll see a stick that looks like a gator head, and I'll be like for a second, you just kind of like flinch.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
no.
funny.
So diving into that, I wanted to bring that clip up, but yeah, I've never heard the story or anything really of how that all went down or gotten to chat with you about it. So obviously kind of set the stage. You went and fished the Hobie. So like there's the big national league basically of kayak now, and kayak bass fishing's gotten enormous. So you go and fish that. Heads to Eufaula, Alabama. Like, when do you get down there? How do you attack it? Like, what's a week like? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so that was.
And I'm totally gonna sneak away and grab a beer real quick, so I'll be back in a second. But just go ahead and talk. I'll catch up.
Yeah, you're good. That was the last tournament I ever fished out of. I car topped a Nissan Altima with my Hobie all the way down to Alabama.
Outstanding.
Put that car through the freaking ringer, man. I sent it back to the dealership with a fender hanging off of it. I tried to off-road it in Texas. It was time for a new vehicle.
It was like a rental car or what?
No, it was just my Altima that I just beat the living crap out of.
Yeah.
But I went down the weekend before the event because I was trying not to take days. I took a few days off of work for practice, but I didn't want to take a day off for travel. So I would start driving like the Friday night before. That way, I could stop somewhere along the way, fish, get some extra content, that sort of thing. And so I drove down, got there Sunday morning, and literally got set up just in time for like this freaking southern knockdown, drag out thunderstorm that lasted for like 10 hours. And the lake rose like almost half a foot and just completely turned it into chocolate milk. That Sunday
and
night.
like Eufaula does not fluctuate very much.
No.
At all. So that type of rain really affects it.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, you put a black and blue jig like in the surface of the water and you can't see it type of deal. Like it was that dirty. And Monday, Tuesday were work days for me. So my campsite, I would work. And then when I get off meetings at like 3 or 4 o'clock, I go fish for the rest of the day. I caught maybe one fish each evening, like actually like really trying. Wednesday and Thursday, I had full days of practice. Friday was somewhat full day. We had to be at registration at like 4 o'clock. All of Wednesday and Thursday, I think I caught 2 fish the entirety of the 2 days, like actually trying to catch fish. Went around. I think I hit like 13 or 14 different ramps, like was trying to cover water. So everywhere I went was
when you're practicing for a kayak derb, are you like, I know you're a grapher and deep water guy, but down there were you just like shallow cover water? Like what's a kayak practice like in comparison to like normal bass boat? You know what I mean? Like I just run everywhere, but you got to deal with other shit because like you can't just pedal a reservoir.
Yeah, so like I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. Like I'm an offshore guy. I mean, it's at fault for me being a smallmouth guy up north. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Like I love chasing. Like Noah Schultz is a great way to kind of describe how my mind works. Not as good as his, but like how he likes to be offshore, whether it's grass or rock pile, whatever. He doesn't like to be on the bank all that much, but he'll do it like, and he can do it like when he needs to. I'm kind of the same way. Like I like to fish shallow, but I only like to do it in tournaments when I need to. So I tried graphing for a little while, but just seeing how dirty the water was, I found a couple brush piles and there wasn't a damn thing in them. So I kind of just did a mix of, but I mean, it's different every tournament. Obviously, I mean, you understand that, Bart, like time of year, different body of water. It's going to depend on if you're going to try more shallow or more offshore. But I could tell basically from what was happening is the bluegill spawn was happening and there was a heavy shad spawn. So that's why I decided, like, after the first day, pretty much decided I wasn't going to go offshore. There was a few fish there, but, like, they weren't firing because it was so dirty. So I tried to when you think about it, when it's that dirty of water, if it's deep, it's more surface for them to it's harder for you to put a bait in front of their face, where if you're fishing dirt shallow, it's a little easier to put a bait in their face. So all of Thursday I was shallow, running so much stuff. I think I went I even tracked it that week. I think I went 92 something miles in the kayak, and that was before I had a motor on the kayak, so I was pedaling.
Damn. Just real quick. So for these tournaments, I've done a couple local kayak tournaments, and I don't know if it's the same for these. Can you just is it from one takeoff point, or can you access it from different any public access? Anywhere that's so public. You could drive 20 miles down the lake and put in again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and that's I went all over the main lake on Thursday, and then it came to the point where I wasn't finding anything productive, and I tried so many different things from that week that on Friday I literally just started driving. What I did Thursday night is I pulled up Google Maps. And I said, okay, so if it's all this dirty water is coming from the river north to south, I said, I want to find fingers that one, don't have any water draining into them and are pointing north. Because if there's no water draining in, there's no way for it to get dirty. And if it's pointing north, it's a lot harder for that current to wrap and go up. So if I could do that, then there's going to be at least some clear water. So I ran a couple of them. One of them, I couldn't really tell if there was a creek running into it or not. And they did. So they were dirty. And I finally ran all the way up the river, almost to the military base, where it's it's basically the main river comes off this giant flat. Bart, you probably even know what I'm talking about. And then there's a few fingers that come off the flat and wrap up, almost kind of making a circle. And basically I could see back in there from Google Earth that it should be clear, but it was a 2-mile pedal. And it was Friday. I was what do I have to lose? So I drove all the way up. It was an hour and a half from my campsite because Eufaula is pretty damn long. And I pedaled 2 miles back up, and I round this bend, dude. And I just see hyacinth mats and the water. You could see the mud line, and it's this gin clear Florida water. And I'm oh, thank God, please be a bass.
The promised land.
Yeah. I was please be a bass. And it was maybe 11 a.m. I threw a spinnerbait down this hyacinth mat, just to chuck something. All I brought, I think, was a flipping bait and a spinnerbait, thinking it was all gonna be dirty. And dude, my first cast on the hyacinth mat, I caught a 5-pounder, and I was okay, let's make sure it's not a fluke. And it was 3 casts later, I caught another 2-pounder. I'm I'm out. Peace. This is where I'm coming. This is the only thing where I got bites, and I didn't realize what the potential that little place actually had. And so only 2 of us found it and boogied that. I found it on the Friday afternoon, drove straight to registration from there.
So then are those, derby morning, Saturday morning, is it a multi-day derby or is it one day?
2-dayer.
2-dayer. So you drive up there Saturday morning. I'd imagine you're amped up. Do you guys all launch at the same time then? Or what do the times go? How does, for guys who listen to this podcast who maybe aren't nearly into the kayak game like you are, how does that whole process work compared to a tournament blast off? We're used to boat numbers getting called, rolling out. How does your morning go? And then how does tournament morning go?
Yeah. So, it's sometimes tournaments later in the summer, they'll be 8.5 hours long, but majority of the time they're early season, April, May, that sort of thing. They're only 8. So I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, that tournament was 5:30. You can launch. You can be in the water, I say, at 4 or 4:30 if you wanted, but you can't be more than 100 feet from the launch. And there's some honor code to the kayak scene, of course, being that you can't, being at so many different ramps, you can't regulate anything. But it's kind of honor code, and everybody's expected to kind of police each other to an extent when it comes to small stuff like that. But it's launch at 5:30 and first cast at 6:00. So 6:00 first cast, and you can fish till 2:00. That's last cast, and then you have, I believe it was submissions by 3:00, because what it is everyone has the same board. You have to buy the same board. That way there's no different brands that can be, any sort of, it's a level playing field. And it's your 5 longest fish. You have to submit those fish to the Tourney X app by 3:00. Otherwise your fish don't count for that day. So which is you have to factor in some things like Eufaula doesn't always have the greatest service around it. So you would have to get off early if you have to drive. I heard had to drive like 45 minutes just to go submit their fish. They have to get off early, submit them in time, like drive out just to get some cell service. So that's kind of how the day will shape up. But it was just I was kind of nervous to see who would show up, who might have found it, because it wasn't a big creek. It was maybe not even a half a mile from where the clear water started, and started pedaling back. There was like 10 people at the ramp, and started pedaling way back there. Thankfully, most people went up the river, but me and the dude that was in first only ones that pedaled back, and we already knew each other. So it was nice because some of them, like, there's racing involved in the kayak, which is kind of funny watching people pedal just fast. And
dude, you're going to the same area, obviously.
Yeah. And so we knew each other, and we just started talking, like telling each other straight up where we're going. And so it was a nice, easy pedal back to where we were going, just chit chatting. Like, and that's the nice part about the kayak stuff, is it's not as cutthroat as some of the boat stuff is. So like, you can work together with guys pretty easy. So like, we decided like we're kind of be fishing the same stuff to an extent. So like, you care if I start here? You'd be like, yeah, I'm going to start here. And like, kind of can almost quote unquote work together, and that you're not like getting in each other's way type of deal.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first day, we pedaled back, and with the shad spawn, you have to catch them early and like catch them good, because about 10:30 to 11 o'clock, your bite's going to die, and it's going to be very, very hard to catch fish from 11 to 2. And so like both tournament days, I didn't catch a single bass after probably like 10:45. So you had to make hay early. And so every single one of my fish, it came to the point where on day 2, all I brought was 2 rods, and they're both spinnerbait rods. And that's all I brought. No tackle or no additional tackle. I just brought like spinnerbait boxes, extra line. But other than that, no graph, no nothing, no other baits in my boat, no plastics, literally just board, net, and some spinner baits and extra line and an extra rod in case I broke something. And so day 1 just kind of started off where I was like, I always say, like, you can hear it sometimes in my videos. I always just say 1 cast at a time, 1 fish at a time, like 1 bite at a time, 1 fish at a time, because I'm so superstitious about crap where I'm like, oh, if I start talking ahead of myself, like if I have 1 fish, I start talking about I need a big limit for the day, like my superstitious mind goes like, hey, you're getting way too ahead of yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah. I got to slow down, like 1 step at a time.
Yeah, once we get to 5, we can start talking about 20. But
we'll start talking upgrades when we get there.
Yeah, exactly. That's not even in
I
our
would be a terrible
yet.
partner for you, dude.
Yeah, because Pink and I are fishing. This is a sides tangent, but last Tuesday, Pink and I are fishing this place, and he's like, "Dude, we're gonna catch 20," and I'm like, "Get a bite."
Yeah,
but even I'm like, dude, we just need 4 quick ones.
Yeah. And he's already talking about 4 quick ones so that we can upgrade. I'm like, I would like a bite.
Yeah, let's start on that first bite. That's how Andy and I are. Andy and I are really bad though. We're like, we'll have 22 pounds in the box. We'll call it 16. Like we super undercut all of our fish. Like I'll put them on the scale and it'll say like, I just try to keep
the vibes up.
Yeah,
like, hey.
Well, see, I like the 1 step at a time, or like undercutting your fish kind of mentality, because that keeps your brain thinking you got to keep going. Like you keep the foot on the gas. Good. Because if you keep thinking, you're like, oh, like we got them, you kind of
we're good.
Put on the brake a little bit,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had day 1. I had a limit by I think like 7:30. It's like an hour and a half in. I was kind of taking my time, and I end up with one day derbs. I never look at the standings, because you can look at the standings in the kayak tournaments. You can look at them all up until I think the last 2 hours on day 2, and then they shut them off so you can't see them. But day 1, I was kind of checking the standings. I was like, if bites are I was talking to people who I trust, and I was like, they weren't getting bites at all. I'm like, if this is going to be a grinder, I want to know when I need to stop. Like, because I don't want to be wasting any fish that I don't need to. Because like I got nothing else, so I'm gonna see y'all here tomorrow. Like it's and so I had bites, and I think like I had a small limit, and I was in like 4th or 5th at the time, and so I decided I was gonna try to upgrade, and I upgraded to like I think like 86 something. I had basically the same limit every day, besides I think it was a 1/2 inch difference. from day 1 to day 2. But day 1 I just had more consistent like 3-pounders. So like Bart, like weight wise, I think I had like 15-ish pounds day 1 and maybe like 17-ish day 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, so I just basically all I did was get literally my kayak was on the hyacinth mats. I couldn't get bit on a frog in there. Couldn't get bit punching them. Couldn't get bit throwing a chatterbait. It was only like a big, it was a big accent spinnerbait, and with like
that
a big
thing
paddle tail.
Smashes there.
It does. And I had a big old paddle tail. It was Kitech fat swing impact on the back. And what I would do is I would cast past, like I see a point in the hyacinth, cast past it, bring my line over, and then reel it under the mat. It was only when the bait got under the mat was when I would get hit, which made no sense to me.
Like positioned underneath of it, but they wanted something like swimming by.
It was super weird, dude, because like I was like, how are they under there and I can't get bit punching? Like it didn't make any sense. And it was, I think, so what it was is that I could see there was a small shad spawn in the hyacinth mats, but there was just not as much shad as there were on like some of the harder points, where there was so much shad there that you couldn't possibly fathom trying to get a bass to eat your bait because there's so much bait there that it was too much. Whereas in the mats, I think there was just enough where you could get your bait in front of a fish and they would actually eat.
Well, dude, and that, like, from my experience on Eufaula with that spinnerbait too, like you throw it by the brush piles out there, like you can throw a worm into them, you can throw everything into them, but you reel that spinnerbait by it, dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're
like,
keyed up, they're keyed up.
Yeah, they're keyed in
profile,
on it. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. You were reeling it under the mat. That's wild.
Yeah, that's when I got all my big bites, is when I could do that. There was 3 different high percentage spots on hyacinth mats. I had 3 different mats that I would fish, and they all had like a little key like point off of them, and that's where I got all my big bites. Damn. So like I upgraded twice, and I was in like second, and then I said I'm just gonna fish through my stretch one time, just fully once, and I'll see where we land. And by the end of it, it was like 10:15, 10:30. And I was in like, I think I was in first at that point. And I said, okay, it's 10:30. Like the worst case we're going to do, we're going to fall to like, we're going to still be in the top 10 for tomorrow. So I said, I left that area, I went and fished some random stuff. I ended up upgrading on some random freaking, like a hyacinth mat, like is this big, maybe. Like in the main river, I just threw a spinnerbait by and got hit. I'm like, there's no way I get bit on this thing. But I was getting bit on hyacinth mats all day. So I pitched at it and upgraded. I was like, that's lucky. It's a bonus fish. Day 2, I ended up, because my campground was such a piece of crap, they actually locked everybody in at night. You couldn't leave. Like if your vehicle was past,
remember that. You were posting stuff.
So when you drive into the campground, there's this giant boat ramp, public boat ramp. And then there was a big gate to get into the campground that was like on the water. And my site was on the water and everything was perfect, except for the fact that one, my power outlet didn't work. So I had to walk half a mile to the laundry room to charge my batteries every night and to edit. So I'd have to plug in there because they wouldn't give me a new site. And I had to leave my car a half a mile in the parking lot, which I heard is terrible for people breaking in every night. And I had to walk back to my campsite because if I wanted to get out before sunrise and for the tournament to start, I'd have to leave it there because I wouldn't be able to leave. It was horrible. So I slept in my car at the boat ramp all the way up, and there's no lights in this parking lot, no nothing. It was very sketch, like glass all over the parking lot where the parking spots are.
Of course.
And I'm like, you know what? I was sitting there, I'm like, these bass better freaking be there tomorrow. This crap is going to
They better fucking
yeah, so I slept in my freaking car. And of course, it's all loaded up because I'm leaving like right after the tournament to drive 18 hours back north. And so I'm sitting straight up, like trying to sleep. Barely slept and just ran the same thing. And dude, it was like maybe 30 minutes into the day. I had my limit already. 30 minutes and way ahead of schedule. And it was like 7 o'clock and I caught a 6.5 pounder that was like a quarter of an inch off being big bass the tournament. I remember freaking out more than I've ever freaked out. I was actually contemplating not putting it into the video because I was so embarrassed of how I reacted. But at the same point in time, like I was juiced up. So I'm like, screw it. Like this is real. Like this is real emotion.
Yeah, that raw emotion, man. That's
yeah. So I put that in there. I looked at the camera, and I've never, ever. This is the only time in my life I actually felt a little bit embarrassed afterwards, but I was a little bit arrogant. I looked at him like, it's done. like it's over. And I called up 3 more times after that. And I was just like sitting there. I got arrogant for a little bit. And I try to bring myself down to earth of like, hey, idiot, somebody's going to smoke them. Like, you need to keep going. And it was like 10 o'clock and my phone was already going off of like my friends who have like podcasts. They're like, hey, dude, can we get you to like as our guests on Monday to talk about your win? And I'm like, dude, like this thing's not even over yet. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, you're leading by 11 inches or something crazy. And so I fished the rest of the day and I think I won by like 6 or 7 inches or something like that. Yeah.
Which in the kayak world is a ton.
It's like when you have 24 pounds and second place is like 20.
Yeah. Dude, so like I said, I've done a few kayak tournaments around here. There's like a Minnesota Kayak Fishing Association does like a ton of these summer whatever tournaments, that Tourney X and all that. And dude, I feel like granted it's still a tournament thing, you're catching them, but I stress out uploading fish to that thing, dude. Like, especially when you have a good one, like you have one over 20 and you're like, swear to God, if this doesn't work right, like if I like mess this up somehow, like I stress big time. Like you gotta, like
you learn to get a process down. And like once you learn that process and you do it enough, like when I was early on, because like I'm not somebody that when I do something I can half-ass it. Like if I do something, I have to go full bore into it. This is my personality. I can't go like half. Like I would take days where I wouldn't fish tournaments yet, but I would just pretend it was a tournament and I put every single fish on the board and take a picture.
Yeah.
Like practice it. As long as the mouth is closed, the tail's on the board, you got your identifier in the picture. And as long as you take a somewhat halfway decent picture where you can see those 3 key components, you're fine. That's all it is. But I learned there's an easy trick to like knowing so like I take probably, it's bad, but I take like 20, 30 pictures every fish. Because like you never know where it's a fish, and a fish might be 20.5 inches, but it's not cooperating, and so its tail more like 20.25. Yeah. So I just put it on burst, and I just like move the fish to where it needs to be, and so I have like so many photos. But you go in your album and you heart the one that you want to submit, so that way because if you go on Tourney X, you can find the one that stands out versus going through 40 photos to figure out which one.
That makes sense. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like you could catch a really good bag or like have a giant and then like fail to upload it properly, and like you even caught these awesome fish. Like it's not like you just chuck them in the live well and you're good. You know? Yeah,
no. Like I mean, that's the one thing I don't like, and it's just the nature of the beast of the kayak fishing style of tournaments is like. I'll give you an example of where it burned me is you can't have multiple fish on board. Like you can't put one in your net and then cast again. Like if fish are schooling, that type of thing. You need to get it on your board. You have to take a picture of it. And you have to let it go. You don't have to submit it, but you have to at least get a picture of it. You can't hold multiple fish at the same time. And it's burned me. One of my first national tournaments I ever fished on Lake Chickamauga. And there was like 98 anglers or 102 or something like that. I got I think I was like 17th place at the end of the day with like 3 fish. Like it was that bad. But I had a 19.5 that got DQ'd because I had them schooling in front of me. Caught the 19, put it on the board, quickly took pictures, threw it back in, started casting again. Didn't take a second to look through my pictures to make sure I had a good one. I had all the fish was clear the whole way, but only half of my identifier was in the picture. You can still say it said you can still see Chickamauga and Bass logo, and they still wouldn't take it. But it
has to have 100% of it in the picture. Yeah.
Because of that, they DQ'd that fish, and that would have got me like top 8 or something like that.
Oh, dude.
So
yeah,
it's a wild thing.
But
man.
it's everyone's playing by the same rules, so it's like it's just part of it. But it's like it's totally other thing you got to process through, and like I don't know.
It's a
like
lot.
I said, the ones I've done, I was still like, it worked out fine, whatever. But it's just like an added stress to like, okay, I just caught this fish, especially like when you hook like close to the kayak and then like get them in, they're still pretty green. And like getting them to chill out on the board, and you got one hand and you're like, oh, fuck.
Smallmouth for sure. Like we went to the Susquehanna River last year. And of course I didn't bring my pro angler, which is like a bigger kayak. I brought an inflatable Hobie called the iTrek. and so there's no gunnels on these things or any way to trap the fish in. And so river smallmouth, Susquehanna River, inflatable kayak, and I was a dummy using treble hooks. Like I was freaking out like a little girl every time they dive under the boat. I was like, please don't hook the kayak. Please don't hook the kayak. Like I don't need to pop this thing. And then trying to get him on the board to stay still was a surprise. I didn't lose a fish.
Yeah. I did one kayak pike tournament, and measuring the fish was just
no, thank you.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing that. It was fun, but it's like you catch a 35-inch pike and you try to measure them in your kayak, and you're like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Because they're even like in the rules, they're like you're allowed to paddle to shore to do it. But I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna drag this fish to paddle it 100 yards to shore, and then what?
Yeah, it's still gonna be an asshole. Like, yeah.
Well, and with the pike too, you got the camera like up here.
Well,
Yeah,
and
trying to get the whole
you have
thing
to have
in.
you have to have the board that folds open, because most of the are like 30-inch boards, like the hog troughs or whatever. So then they allow you to use that like Rapala one that like folds out. But it's like, then you got to have this full. You can't just like lay it on your lap because it's like a hinged board. It's I don't know. People do it though. I'm not good at it.
Yeah,
I avoid the toothy ones at all costs. Unless they're a walleye, I don't want them.
Yeah, I hear you. That's sick though. That I mean, like a 2-day event like that where you feel like you got something going. Like that's a sick feeling. Like do you have people like vulching in on your area because they obviously know you did good day one, right?
No, the guy from day one that was leading, Brady, he had a pretty rough day two. And he
in the same area or.
Yeah, same area. So there was there was one creek that was pretty good, and there was like a little finger off of it, and that's where he fished most of the time day two, because he did well there day one. And he struggled pretty. I think he fell to fourth, but it was like a considerable amount that he dropped inches wise. He just came by, and he was super respectful about it, because he was checking standings. Like came over, he's like, "Hey, you're having a good day, whatever." He goes, I know you were fishing that bank, but you're not fishing right now. Do you care if I fish it? And like he was in there all. I couldn't, like, it's not like something you can tell him no. And like it was like 12:30, so it was like if he got a bite, he's gonna earn it. So it's like,
right,
yeah, go ahead, dude. Like you have as much right to this water, but we were sharing it. So it's other than that, no, I didn't have anybody impede on it.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then getting off the water, you were getting the text early, but like afterwards, it's just got to be mental with your phone.
Well, you knew you won before you got back, right, or no?
Well, I mean, we all as tournament guys, you get those gut feelings. Like if you won enough tournaments, you kind of get that gut feeling of like, I mean, sure there's surprises, but there's those gut feelings of like, I think I got it, but like,
yep.
And there's some people that full bore steer into that. They're like, I got this thing. I already won. They're telling everybody at the ramp. But I'm like, I had people texting me like as I was getting off, like my buddies calling me, like congratulating, whatever. And I'm like, dude, hey, it's not awards yet. Like somebody could have submitted the last 2 hours. Like, I don't know yet. Like it's Eufaula. There's giants here. Like anything can happen. So as much as that, like I noticed there were some times though, I had to turn music off and everything in the car on my drive. It was an 1.5-hour drive to awards.
Oh,
I was that far up the river, and I was like, I had to turn all the music off because there was times, dude, I was getting excited and like starting to rock out, and I'm just like, I gotta calm down because I'm gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna get energetic, and like it's gonna be bad. And so I didn't. I had a feeling. I had a gut feeling that I won, but at the same point in time, I was forcing my brain to say, hey, contain yourself. Like, there's going to be people watching the live stream for awards. You're representing people. Calm down. Because when I get excited, I'm a loser, man. I'm such a, like, I just get too excited and I just say stuff. Like, it's not anything bad. I'm just a dork. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, if people just look at me, they'll just laugh. They'll laugh at me. That's all it is. It's nothing like bad. But I'm just like, if you want to represent yourself well, calm down.
Yeah.
And it ended up like the tournament director, dude, he gave me a heart attack because the guy, it was up me and 2 guys left, and it was 2 guys left, me and another guy, Ron Champion, and he was like, so Ron had this crazy late day comeback. He goes, but it wasn't enough, and I was like, fuck you. Like, I had a heart attack. I thought I lost. But then after that, I blacked out my whole speech on stage or whatever. Just like, it was kind of wild. But
That's so sick, dude. No, congrats. So that's badass. I didn't know that happened, but that's super cool.
Yeah, dude. What was it? It was 3,200-mile trip for out of a plastic boat for 10.5 grand, which I think it was it was a little bit over 11 grand because I double dipped on a local tournament that first day and got like second or third.
Nice. That's the cool thing about the Yak stuff is you can kind of like jump in other online ones and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, as long as you have to be there, as long as you don't have to be at awards, like you can just hop in and you can win because they pay PayPal most of the time.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah, dude, it's clutch. Like you don't have to worry about it. You just go home when you want to. Show up.
Well, like those ones that I've done where you have the identifier in there, you see people, they post their thing and they got like 4 of them across the top. You know, they got 4 derbies rolling at one time.
20 different codes. Like
yeah. They're like, we're all in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Cool.
That's awesome. Well, I guess we ran this. We did it, Pink. We made it through with the short bench.
That was awesome. Yeah,
Bailey
thanks for coming on,
in,
Bailey. That was sweet.
Helped a ton.
Yeah.
Anytime, boys. That was fun.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm still really bad at telling people to subscribe early. I always do it when we're at hour 2.5.
Yeah. But hey,
so
subscribe.
If you're still here, you're probably subscribed. But if you haven't, we would appreciate it. But yeah, thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Pass the Barb, and we will see you on the next one.